Hi, I'm Annette McDonald, and I am the designer at Orsini's in Martinsburg, West Virginia. We welcome you into our store to show you a complete line of what we do here. We design your cabinetry, quartz countertops, granite countertops, hardware, anything for the full remodel of your kitchen and your home needs. We also do bathrooms, and we have flooring available too. We make sure that your project with Orsini's is the best in the market. Welcome to Orsini's.
Orsini's.com.
It's time for the excitement of NCAA Division II basketball featuring the Shepherd University Rams and the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Today's game is sponsored by Bechtel Jewelers, Brown's Funeral Home and Cremations, Robert Fields and Sons, Hagerstown Ford, the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm, the Mirius Group of Ameriprise Financial Advisors, CMA Honda of Winchester, the Mountaineer Pub, the Neon Moon Tavern, Orsini's Home Store, the Palace Lounge, Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, Smallwood and Small Insurance, the Sutton and Janelle Law Firm, and WVU Medicine Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Center. Now, let's send it out to the Butcher Athletic Center on the campus of Shepherd University and join our TV10 broadcast crew for the game.
Good evening, everyone, as we welcome you back to the Butcher Center for Shepherd University men's basketball action. The Shepherd University Rams welcoming in the Lock Haven Bald Eagles. I'm Nick Verzolini. Alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Back in the studio, Colin McLaughlin, John Allerton, along with Spencer Dupuis, are our cameramen, as this is the countdown to tip-off, brought to you by Sunset Water Services, proudly installing water softeners in Martinsburg and Berkeley County since 1989. Lock Haven, Dylan, coming in at 8-2. Shepherd sitting at 6-5. This is a Shepherd team that, for the most part, despite having a 6-5 record, have been competitive in almost every game that this team has lost, except for its last outing. Not the best outing for Shepherd against Pitt Johnstown. It was kind of a disappointing first half, but a much better second half for the Rams.
Yeah, you get into the thick of the PSAC play here as we start to get into the conference games. And there's just going to be a lot of these tough games. Pitt Johnstown currently sitting at 8-3 on the season. And like you said, there's a lot of close games that they've played outside of that one, including only a 4-point loss at number 23 in the country at the time, Virginia Union. It's one of these things where, Shepherd currently 6-5, 3-2. You hear that they're sixth in the division, in the PSAC East, and you think, well, that doesn't sound very good. But this is a really good team. It's a really good division. It's a really good conference. There's currently 6 teams, Shepherd being that sixth one, that are above 500 in the conference, and 7 that are over 500 in general. Kutztown's actually under 500 on overall play. Had a tough out-of-conference schedule. But you have 6 teams at over 500 in the East, and then you go across to the West, and you also have the number 1 team in the country, IUP, sitting at 11-0, 5-0 in the conference, and teams like Mercyhurst, Pitt Johnstown, Slippery Rock, which was our last game that we had on TV10. And there's a lot of really good teams in the PSAC, so there's going to be a tough time for Shepherd. They're going to see how many of these games they can pull out. This one is not going to be any different. A Lock Haven team, like you mentioned, 8-2 on the season. And I think they can put up a fight, Shepherd can. They're on their home court, obviously, so have a little bit of a home field advantage. Maybe not as much of one as you might usually have, considering that school is still out of session, so there's probably not nearly as many students on campus. I mean, normally there would be some trickling in, some soccer players over in the wooden bleachers on the sides here, maybe some football players spread around, but they're all on winter break still for another week or two, so that plays into things a little bit. But I think the Shepherd team is talented enough, even with a little less of a home field advantage than usual. They can put up a good fight against a really good Lock Haven team.
And one thing that speaks to the point that Shepherd has played close games this year, Shepherd averages 66.5 points per game. Their opponents average 66.2 points per game. So, I mean, you've seen close games almost every time the Rams have been in action this season, and I would expect another close one here tonight. Lock Haven, as we mentioned, sitting at 8-2, but not a dominating team necessarily. Led in the scoring column by Jay Davis, who averages 15 points. And then you follow that up with Eli Washington at 12 points. And this is a team that averages 73 points per game. So not too big of a margin there between Shepherd and Lock Haven. And we saw in the last game we did here on TV 10 against Slippery Rock, that was a team of a ton of scoring, a ton of athleticism, and Shepherd made it close and had a chance to potentially pull off a huge upset. So I think we're going to see a good one tonight, Dylan. And what kind of stands out to you about the Lock Haven squad so far this year?
Well, Lock Haven so far this year, we mentioned again they're 8-2. Both of those losses have come on the road. They're currently undefeated at home so far this year. That one of those losses being a 22-point loss to currently 8-1 Mercyhurst. So one of those losses is to a really good team. Again, this is kind of like the women's team we just saw for Lock Haven. Spreads their points around. Only two guys that are above double digits in scoring. Obviously, you mentioned Jay Davis. He is sitting at just under 16 points a game. He's a good shooter at 50% from the floor, 47% from three, and 79% from the free throw line. He's going to be a guy to watch. Their leading shot taker, their leader in minutes. So he's going to be probably their standout guy for tonight. But again, you go down the list, then you get to 11.5 points, 9.6, 9, 8.8. So they spread the wealth around when it comes to who takes the shots and who scores the points so far in this pretty successful season that they've had.
On the Shepherd side of things, Daniel McLean Corley still leads the team in scoring at 15.2 points per game. Following him, Philip Jordan, and then John Preston, both of them averaging around 12 points per game. Seeing good production from Carson Poffenberger at 8.9 points a contest, and Aiden Hughley with 8.5 points per game. So you have kind of that top four, Dylan, then after that it drops off a little bit. But McLean Corley, when he gets going, can be one of the top players in this conference. And we've seen improvement from him as well. When we last saw the Rams, his field goal percentage was way down. He's now above 40% from the floor and above 30, almost 32% from three. So he's starting to recover from those injuries he's had in the past and get into a little bit of a groove.
Right, I was going to mention that if you didn't bring it up yourself, that his field goal percentage is slightly ticking up as the season has gone on. I think we kind of expected that coming back healthy. He had to get back in the groove, only played a handful of games last season, and he's come along to be the leading scorer of this team so far this year, like we thought that he could be. And obviously that was something they missed last year. It kind of helps that we had a solid team last year with Shepherd, and you lost Kyle Daggett, your leading scorer from last season, but you get back McLean Corley in his place, since they didn't really see the court in games with each other a lot of last year. And you throw in guys like P.J. Jordan and John Preston, who have had good seasons so far this year. John Preston has been shooting the ball really well this year. He was really hot to start the year out, but he's fallen to just 42% from three-point range.
Just 42%.
When he was at about 50% last time we had them against a Slippery Rock team. But you add in an 86% free throw percentage. He's shooting 5 threes a game with that percentage too. So it's not just the case of he's not taking a lot of volume there. So that's good. You get 6 threes a game from Dan McLean Corley as well. Add in PJ, and you get the guys that kind of add in their role player skill sets around them, like Aiden Hughley and Carson Poffenberger, and you got a solid squad. And when they play their good defense, they can create extra opportunities for themselves, and they can stay in a game with just about anybody.
All right, let's go ahead and take a 2-minute break. On the other side of that break, Dylan and I will continue to break down this matchup and talk a little bit about the PSAC as well. This is Shepherd University Rams men's basketball on TV 10.
Hello, this is Mark Sutton of the Sutton & Janelle Law Firm. The right attorney can make all the difference in your case. That's why you should call Sutton & Janelle. We have been serving clients in West Virginia and Maryland since 1999 in the areas of family law, DUI, criminal defense, and personal injury. Sutton & Janelle works hard to obtain a favorable outcome for you at a reasonable rate with affordable payment options. Sutton & Janelle values your rights and is passionate about your success. Contact us today at suttonandjanelle.com.
WVU Medicine is pleased to introduce 8 new providers at Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Centers and University Healthcare physicians. Dr. Munib Malik, nephrology. Neonatal nurse practitioner Antonia Montag. Dr. Janice McMillan, endocrinology. Nurse practitioner Kimberly Applegate, infectious disease. Nurse practitioner Saba Ademe, hospitalist. Certified nurse midwife Brianna Lilly. Physician's assistant Skylar Sade, family medicine. Dr. Kelly Ash, family medicine OB. WVU Medicine, growing to meet the needs of our community.
I pre-planned my funeral to make it easier on my family. They were relieved to know I'll get just what I want.
My family actually thanked me for taking matters into my own hands. Turns out having this awkward conversation wasn't awkward at all.
Pre-planning is my choice. There are certain things about me my family may not know. Now they won't need to guess.
The choices are yours. The peace of mind is theirs. Pre-plan your funeral with Brown Funeral Homes and everything will be taken care of. Find out more online at brownfuneralhomeswv.com. Brown Funeral Homes, here for you.
You've been in an accident. The choice of a lawyer may be the biggest decision you make for you and your family's future. At Mansion Ferretti, we offer a free consultation and no fees until we win your case. Call us today and protect your future. Mansion Ferretti, when you need justice.
We welcome you back to the Butcher Center on the campus of Shepherd University here in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. Nick Verzolini alongside me, Dylan Bishop here on the pregame show. Dylan, we look at the current PSAC standings. East Strasburg leading things in the East Division, followed by this very Lock Haven team. Then Shippensburg, Kutztown, Millersville, Shepherd sitting there in the 6th spot, as you mentioned. And then Westchester just behind them, even though the overall record, a 7-4 team, 2-3 though in conference play. And then you have the bottom feeders in Mansfield and Bloomsburg who have struggled this year. But really besides those two teams, when you're looking at the East Division, it's a gauntlet. There's a lot of good teams.
Absolutely. I mean, like we mentioned in the first segment, East Stroudsburg's always a good team. IUP over in the West is always a good team. But you go down just the entire East here, Shippensburg is always good, sitting at 4-1 in the PSAC. They did go just 2-4 in their out-of-conference games so far. I'm looking at one of those was a 1-point overtime loss to Fairmont State. One of those was a 5-point loss at Virginia State. Another was a 4-point loss to ranked Virginia Union. Same score that Shepherd lost to Virginia Union by. So, again, you go down that list. Kutztown's always a team to contend with. Millersville. It's just a really good conference. I'm going to be looking forward to seeing more of these teams come into Shepherdstown to play the Rams.
And on the west side, you mentioned IUP. They've kind of been the dominating team so far. Only undefeated team in the conference at 11-0. Mercyhurst, though, a solid team right behind them. Pitt Johnstown, Slippery Rock, we saw them. Then you have Edinburgh, who Shepherd has fallen to this year. Seton Hill, Cal PA. Not quite as competitive in the West, but still very solid, especially those top 4 or 5 teams there. Have all, been competitive in the conference play, and Clarion and Gannon finish things off for Shepherd and Lock Haven, who go at it here tonight. The Rams have one more home game here in this 3-game home stretch. We will not be there. It will be against Millersville on Saturday. Then they head back on the road and come back at home for East Strasburg, which will be a tough one. But this kind of next month, Dylan, a lot of road trips for Shepherd. So one of the very few opportunities to get a home game in and a chance to, not have those tough road travels in the PSAC.
Right, that's the thing about them playing in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, being the only team not in the state of Pennsylvania, is all those road trips are going to be tough sledding. We saw that a lot. I saw that specifically with the women's team last year. I remember a trip they took where they upset nationally ranked IUP, and then the very next day had to go and play a afternoon away game, 2 away games in a row, big long road trip against Seton Hill. Got upset by Seton Hill. So that's the kind of example of how this PSAC play can go. And it's just something you got to deal with when you're playing in a conference that, all these teams are, all these other teams are going to be right there next to each other. You got Gannon and Mercyhurst that are going to, barely have to travel anywhere to play each other. They go across the street. But Shepherd has to make a 5-hour trip up if they want to play either of those teams. So that's just life in the PSAC for Shepherd.
And, the state of Pennsylvania is such a big state, too, so when you have to travel across the state, it takes a little bit. But, for Shepherd here tonight, a good matchup here with this Lock Haven team. We talked a little bit about Lock Haven's leading scorers and some key guys for them so far this season. But Dylan, when you dive a little bit deeper, the depth is what stands out to me, and the ability to shoot at a high percentage from both the floor, inside the three-point line, and from three. But they don't take a ton of them, so it's a talented team though, for Lock Haven, and kind of surprised because I don't believe they were toward the top last year, so they've really come on this year.
Yeah, they're taking about 15 three-pointers a game. A lot of that contribution is coming from Jay Davis, their leading scorer, their senior guard. You've also got Isaiah Stewart, who's only averaging 6 points a game, but a lot of that he's hit himself 11 three-pointers on the year, shooting about 48% from the three-point land. It only comes out to about taking 2 threes a game, but he's someone you got to watch out for when he does get the ball in his hand out there. Otherwise, it's not a whole lot of three-point shooting on this squad. So I think if you are able to limit Jay Davis specifically, then you may be able to hone in on the paint tonight and see if Aiden Hewley can step up, and guys like him and Poffenberger can close in and make sure you don't get easy baskets at the rim.
Let's take another 2-minute break. On the other side of that break, Dylan and I will give you our keys to the game and players to look out for. This is West Virginia High School. Oh my gosh, I'm in the wrong mode, Dylan. This is Shepherd University Rams men's basketball on TV 10.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
WVU Heart and Vascular Institute offers world-class heart care close to home. Our board-certified physicians are performing groundbreaking procedures using cutting-edge techniques, and that's why we're expanding our services to every corner of our region, so you don't have to travel far to receive the great specialty care you deserve close to home. We're now accepting new patients at all 4 convenient locations in Martinsburg, Hagerstown, Shepherdstown, and Winchester. WVU Heart and Vascular Institute, world-class heart care close to home.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
We welcome you back here to the Butcher Center as we wind down the pregame show. Nick Verzolini and Dylan Bishop here on the pregame show. Dylan, let's get your keys to the game. Brought to you by the Heffley Motor Company. The key to your next car is at the Heffley Motor Company, located at 993 Hedgesville Road in Martinsburg. You're local, we're local, so why not buy local? Spencer Dupuis rides with them, so you should too. Dylan, what you got for us for the keys to the game? Start of our visitors, Lock Haven, and then over to Shepherd.
I think Lock Haven's going to have to try to get some scoring to go around a lot of the players there. Don't make things have to run all the way through your key player in Jay Davis. And I think that they're going to have to make sure they get contributions from guys like Eli Washington, James Price, Justice Schultz as well. And on the other side, I don't think you can allow Shepherd to make a lot of three-pointers tonight. You can, if you let John Preston and Dan McLean-Corley get hot from three-point land, it's going to be a hard time, and you're going to let Shepherd potentially be able to make this upset. And for the Rams, I think it's a similar thing where they need to make life easy on McLean-Corley tonight, because we saw in that last Slippery Rock game, in the first half especially, he was doing a lot of ISO ball. It's going to be ball movement. It's going to be the key here. Get the ball around, pick and rolls, use PJ and John off the ball, set up, get them some open shots. Make sure that McLean-Corley is just not doing a lot of ISO, and you got to make sure that you're forcing the ball out of the hands of Jay Davis and make this team score inside with their other contributing players.
All right, Dylan, what about some players to look out for? Brought to you by Sutton & Janelle, Attorneys at Law, a full-service law firm helping individuals, families, and businesses with all their legal needs. They're 224 West King Street in Martinsburg. We're online at suttonandjanelle.com. Dylan, who are some players, a player on each team to look out for here tonight?
Well, I think we mentioned him a couple times, but the guy to look out for Lock Haven is Jay Davis. He's averaging about 16 points a game. He's shooting 50% from the field, 47% from three-point land, which is really impressive. He's not taking a whole lot of he's taking about 5 threes a game. So you got to watch out for his scoring ability. And then, of course, for Shepherd, the guy to look out for, the X factor for this entire team, I think, is John Preston. He's not the leading scorer like Dan McLean-Corley is. He's not the second leading scorer in Philip Jordan, but I think this team goes as John Preston goes. If he has an off night, it might be an off night for Shepherd in general. When he's hot, the team can get hot.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that, Dylan. Let's go ahead and take our final 2-minute break. On the other side of that break, we'll get you the starting lineups and tip-off. This is Shepherd University men's basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
This is a public service message from Bechtel Jewelers to Chocolates, brought to you by Diamonds. Dear Chocolates, you melt. As for us, Diamonds, we melt her. Hi, I'm Lori from Bechtel Jewelers. Face it, Chocolates, yes, you're sweet. Yes, you can be hard to keep your hands off of. But if the idea is to melt her on Valentine's Day, that's what we do. She doesn't exactly fall all over herself when she sees you. Her eyes don't get all big when she sees it's a box of chocolates. She doesn't fall all over the man who hands her a box of chocolates. Am I right or am I right? But when she sees it's a little jewelry box with diamonds inside, does she get all worked up? Oh yeah. Do her eyes get big? Oh yeah. Does she start to melt right in front of the man who hands her that little box with diamonds inside? Oh yeah. Of course, all of this is said with great love. Signed, Diamonds. This public service announcement has been brought to you by Bechtel Jewelers, Route 11 South in Inwood. Come see us because we melt her.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Mountaineer Grill and Pub offers many daily specials, including Trivia Night Monday, Karaoke Tuesday, Steak Night Wednesday and Sunday, Thursday night Boneless Wing Night, and on Friday and Saturday nights there'll be a DJ and or karaoke. And remember, Monday through Friday, happy hour, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., $2 domestic bottles and $2.50 domestic drafts.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
You're back here to the Butcher Center. Starting lineups being announced on the floor as we speak. And Shepherd just got announced, and now Lock Haven's been announced, and now we'll give you the starting lineups. Brought to you by the Mirius Group and Ameriprise Financial Advisors John Everson and Phil McCoy. Stop by 1270 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg or call 304-263-4343. For Lock Haven, starting and wearing number 1, it is Daimir Montague. Wearing number 3 in the backcourt is Eli Washington. Number 11, Jalen Gorham. And number 20, James Price, along with number 22, Jay Davis. For Shepherd, it's number 1, Philip Jordan. Number 2, John Preston. Number 4, Daniel McLean Corley. Number 32, Aiden Hughley. And rounding out the lineup, number 33, Carson Poffenberger. Now get ready for tip-off, brought to you by Hagerstown Ford, revolutionizing the car buying experience. Go to HagerstownFord.com. In the circle for the Rams is Aiden Hughley, and going up against him for Lock Haven for the tip is James Price. Shepherd coming out in the gray uniforms this evening, and Lock Haven in the all blacks. The officials throw up the first tip, and Shepherd wins it. It will go to Daniel McLean Corley. Philip Jordan brings it across for the Rams. Over to Hughley. Now up top to Poffenberger. Preston with the ball now. Jordan tries a long triple. It's off the back iron and nearly heads out of bounds, but Preston somehow comes away with the rebound. Shepherd will work it to Daniel McLean Corley now. 11 on the shot clock. McLean Corley off the Hughley screen. Pulls up, extended elbow jumper on the way, no good, and rebounded that time by Lock Haven. Jalen Gorham. So the Bald Eagles set up their offense. Montague over to Gorham. Low post now, down low to Price. Price going to work against Poffenberger. Nice move, and he lays it up and in.
Poffenberger got a little bit by that post move. It's a nice move there.
2-0, Lock Haven on top. Hughley up top over to Jordan. Jordan, good move to the basket. Swing it to the corner to Preston, but a charge is called. Excellent positioning down low for Eli Washington to force the charge, and it's a turnover for Shepherd. Ball will go back to Lock Haven.
I've seen some good ball movement, some good plays being run by Shepherd so far. I just haven't gotten the execution on it. It was a good first shot taken by McLean Corley. Just couldn't get it to go in.
So Lock Haven has possession now. Davis with the basketball up. Price with the basketball up top. Now over to Washington. Down low, Davis pull up. Jumper on the way, and he knocks it down. 4-0 lead for the Bald Eagles.
Starting off the game with DMC on Jay Davis.
Probably has the best height matchup there, and along with the guard play. Davis jumps the passing lane. Davis now in transition. Working against Hughley. He draws. No, he did not draw a foul. A walk is called. Robinson will come in for Philip Jordan early in this first half. 18 minutes to play in this first half of play between Shepherd and Lock Haven.
That's a really interesting early substitution by Coach Namlick to me. I wonder what the thinking is there. Let's see how the game plan changes.
McLean Corley splits the defense. Layup is up and good. Makes it a 4-2 ball game. And Shepherd is on the board with the McLean Corley layup. He has 2 points.
You see him sprint back the other way to get and face guard Jay Davis.
Face guarding. That's don't see that too often in college. We've seen it in high school this year. Earlier, Washington pulls up on a tough fadeaway jumper and he knocks it down.
And that's their second leading scorer. He doesn't really shoot threes, Washington, but he is shooting 43% from the field overall in about 25 minutes a game.
Hughley sets a screen for McLean Corley. Swings it to the corner to Robinson. He can't handle the pass. It heads out of bounds. It's turnover for Shepherd.
You have to wonder if he will stay on Davis the entire game, because him being your leading scorer, it can tire a guy out to try to carry the load on offense and guard the best player on the defense.
And you see here, McLean Corley has switched off of Davis. Preston has taken that assignment for now as Washington splits the defense, and Eli Washington early on a problem for Shepherd. Gets that shot to go. 8-2 lead for Lock Haven.
Yeah, Lock Haven's shots are just falling right now. Really good shooting. Not bad defense.
Robinson off the Poffenberger screen. Over to Preston as that ball tipped away and out of bounds. And quickly, Phillip Jordan back into the contest. So I wonder if that was maybe just something they wanted to talk about with PJ specifically, or what the case may be.
It's possible, or maybe trying to force a substitution by Lock Haven on the other end, as you see that Hewley checked out instead of it being straight back for Robinson.
McLean Corley standing with the basketball now. He'll attack the basket, kicking out to Robinson. Robinson pulls up, elbow J on the way. Good! It's 8-4 now. Shepherd still trails.
So they're getting a lot of open mid-range shots so far. And you take them when if you can get them.
Good-looking mid-range J on the way from Montague, and he gets fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot a pair. The mid-range game, Dylan, not a huge part of today's modern basketball style with the three-pointer. Nobody really takes the mid-range shot anymore, but if it's there and you're able to hit it consistently, it can be deadly for you.
Right, it's typically more efficient, when it comes to, say, points per possession or what it might be, to either get it to the rim or shoot a three if you're a good shooter from beyond the arc. So that mid-range game has kind of become a way of the past to a sense, but if you can shoot it really well from that mid-range, it can be just as effective. You see guys like Kawhi Leonard live in the mid-range, and if you're an elite scorer, that's going to be part of your game.
Both free throws are up and good for Lock Haven to extend the lead to 10-4. Jordan swings it over to Marcel. Stephon Marcel now down low to Poffenberger, who goes to work, kicks it out. Preston. Clayton Corley pulls up, three-pointer on the way, off the mark, no good. And out of bounds. It will remain, though, with the Rams as we hit the under 16 media timeout, and we will take a 30-second break. This is Shepherd University Rams men's basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. We're back at 30.
The Honda HR-V, CR-V, Pilot, Passport, and Ridgeline. They all have one thing in common. They never back off from a challenge. Available with all-wheel drive, the Honda SUV lineup has the performance you can count on and the capability to amaze. It's no wonder Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com named Honda the 2022 Best Value brand.
CMA's Honda of Winchester, 3985 Valley Pike. CMA, moving lives forward.
Based on 2022 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit KBB.com for more information.
Our first half of the first half is brought to you by the Brown Funeral Homes and Cremations. Robert Fields and Sons, a family-owned full-service funeral home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown. Ranson, proudly serving the area since 1880, along with CMA's Honda of Winchester, 3985 Valley Pike. CMA, moving lives forward. Nick Rosalini alongside me, Dylan Bishop for Shepherd Lock Haven. It's an early 10-4 Bald Eagles lead, Dylan.
Lock Haven's been making some good shots so far. They have a couple of really talented scorers on this team like Davis and Washington. And Shepherd so far on the other end hasn't been able to find easy looks. They've been getting some open ones that haven't fallen, like one from McLean Corley that didn't go in the first possession of the game. But I think those will come.
Shepherd with it on the inbound. Hewley checks back into the ball game. Here's Marcel to Jordan on the right wing. Jordan drives into the lane, kicks it out. McLean Corley, three-pointer on the way, no good. Shot so far not really falling for Daniel McLean Corley. Lock Haven grabs the rebound. Washington now with the basketball into the high post. Gorham drives in, swings it to Price. Trying to find Gorham. Ball got tipped into the hands of Preston. McLean Corley trying to set up the offense for Shepherd. Takes the screen. Marcel passes on the jumper over to Jordan. Jordan pulls up from the free throw line. It's too strong. And rebounded by Eli Washington. Lock Haven looking to run the floor. Washington in transition. Wild shot. Almost gets his own rebound, and the ball hit off the bottom of the basket and will then go out of bounds and be Shepherd basketball.
So I'm liking a lot of the ball movement that we're seeing from the Rams offense, but it's just not really resulting in open shots so far. This Lock Haven team has some athletes on the defensive end that are moving around quick and making sure they can close out pretty well so far.
Yeah, it looked like potentially there was an opportunity there for Shepherd to maybe swing it to the corner, as we see John Preston put in the extra work with the mop.
Doing it all.
10-4 lead for Lock Haven. 14:40 to go in the first half. Jordan with the basketball for the Rams. Over to Marcel, now back over to McLean Corley. Shepherd trails by 6. Been a while since they found a field goal. Jordan to the rim, tried to draw a foul, but no call, and now the ball back in Lock Haven's possession. Washington to the corner, over to Gorham. Back up top, a three-pointer on the way is no good by Montague. Rebounded, though, underneath by Gorham, who tried to keep it alive on the baseline, but found Phillip Jordan instead of a fellow bald eagle. Here's a three-pointer on the way from Marcel. That falls short, no good. Rebounded underneath by Montague. Montague in transition now, going hard with the left-handed drive to the rim and draws the foul.
Seems like Lock Haven's just had a little extra step, a quicker first step on both ends of the court than the Rams have so far. They're able to get by, get those angles that lead to foul shots or contested shots on the other end.
There's not much of a real flow to the game early on, it seems like, especially on the Shepherd side.
Yeah, it's been a little clunky on both sides. Haven't been able to get a whole lot of easy shots yet.
Montague to the line. He nails the first one. Nothing but net on that free throw. 11-4 lead for the Bald Eagles over the Rams. Second free throw up and good as well. So 12-4 ball game with 13:43 to go in this first half. Phillip Jordan brings it across the timeline for Shepherd over to Hewley. Backdoor cut by McLean Corley, trying to go up for the slam. Montague said, "Not today, young man." Excuse me. That was Gorham going up with him.
Whew. Some really good athletes on this Lock Haven team.
James Price now doing John Preston's job of mopping the floor. His part-time job when he's not playing basketball.
And now we're really
Phil Jordan said, "Hey, this is how you do it."
And we're really spreading it around now. Everybody's going to get their turn, mopping the floor.
Well, I mean, the Shepherd guys are familiar with the mop. They're familiar with the floor, and it makes sense that they would have to step in there, take over.
Makes sense, yeah. Not every mop and not every floor is built the same, you know.
You really gotta be familiar with it. You gotta know the right spots there.
Yeah.
McLean Corley into Hewley. Preston now with the basketball. Marcel sets the screen. Preston drives in. Or Jordan, excuse me, now Preston with it. Marcel lost control though. Lock Haven forcing a turnover. Price in transition. Yeah, that's a double dribble.
Yeah.
Travel, okay. I guess he never did dribble when he initially caught it, but then he kind of threw it to himself, passed it to himself essentially.
It took him a second to call that one. I thought he was about to get away with it. Very confused there.
It was a weird looking play, so maybe it just took the official a second there to be like, what was that exactly?
Like, did he just do what I think he did? Yeah.
Phillip Jordan brings it across for Shepherd, who still trails by 8 at 12-4. McLean Corley, Shepherd needs this, and it falls for the Rams.
There we go. Now you're getting it going.
12-7 now our score as we play under 13 minutes to go in the first half. Washington up top over to Montague. Back to Washington. He'll pull up baseline J on the way, and that is good.
It's good defense, better offense.
Philip Jordan in the purple shoes brings it across for the Rams. 14-7 our score, under 12.5 minutes to play in the opening half. Poffenberger sets a screen. Hughley slips out, and he knocks down the triple. That's back-to-back three-pointers for the Rams. Cut the lead down to 4 at 14-10.
He's following in the footsteps of Kyle Daggett in being a big man who's starting to add a little bit more of a three-pointer to his game, shooting about 2 of them per contest this year.
Another travel going against James Price.
So Hughley's at about a 33% clip on those threes, by the way.
Yeah, we've seen some good things from Hughley as he continues to develop. Gabe Springer will check into the contest as Lockhaven goes to its bench a little bit. Isaiah Stort checking in as well. Shepherd's rolled with the starting 5 for the majority of the contest. As it's under 12 minutes to play, the Rams trail by 4 at 14-10. Philip Jordan, McLean Corley. Hughley thought about the three-pointer, now hands it off to McLean Corley, who attacks the basket with the left-handed layup, and Daniel McLean Corley might be getting it going after that three-pointer. It's a 2-point ball game at 14-12.
He's fired up now. Has to be after some frustrations in the first part of this half. Hasn't been able to get it going until now.
Montague over to Gorham. Gorham drives in with the left hand. Scoop shot in the lane. Good. Tough move to the basket. Again, pretty solid defense by the Rams, but just better offense. Philip Jordan with the basketball. Carson Poffenberger now has it tipped away by Gorham. And a jump of the passing lane now by Springer. Springer in transition. Extra pass down low to Stort. He lays it up and in. Quickly, Lockhaven takes the lead and extends it out to 6 at 18-12 with 10:50 to play in the opening half.
With how the half-court offense and defense is going, you can't allow those easy transition buckets off the turnovers.
Hughley down low is called for the offensive foul. And we have the under 12 media timeout. We'll take a 30-second break. It is Lockhaven 18, Shepherd 12. This is Shepherd University Rams men's basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
My kids, you know I want the best for you, don't you? We need to have a conversation.
End-of-life planning is no one's favorite discussion, but the relief of having everything in place when the hour of need arrives is a gift. Give it to your family. Plan ahead with us.
Brown Funeral Homes, a leading provider of cremations, invites you to explore the many flexible options of cremation. From environmental considerations to the benefit of greatly reduced cost, it may be the perfect answer for your family. Online at brownfuneralhomeswv.com. Brown Funeral Homes, here for you.
Welcome you back to the Butcher Center. It is Lockhaven 18, Shepherd 12 here in men's basketball action. Nick Verzolini alongside me, Dylan Bishop, John Arlington, and Spencer Dupuis on camera this evening, along with Kyle McLaughlin back in the studio. Lockhaven winning in the women's contest earlier this evening, Dylan, and we'll see how this one plays out. Shepherd's gotten back into it, but right as they get back into it, cut it down to 2. Lockhaven builds the lead back out to 6.
Right, yeah. It's been really good play by Lockhaven. You could say they're locked in on both sides of the floor, really. Just making a lot of tough shots, using their athleticism on the defensive side to make it tough for Shepherd, getting out in transition. But it's only a 6-point game, all that said.
So Lockhaven with the basketball now. Isaiah Stort brings it across the timeline. Stort finds Freeze back over to Montague. Montague drives baseline, goes up strong, tried to jam it on Hughley. Montague, though, will go to the line to shoot a pair. Now we got a towel. There's just all sorts of things underneath that basket.
really slippery. I don't know what's going on.
It seems like every time somebody goes to the floor, you got to clean it up.
Coach Namlick wasn't happy with that call. He thought that Hewley went straight up.
It did kind of look like, and I only had like a quick glimpse at it, that Montague might have extended his arm out.
That too. I don't think you're wrong about that. I think there is something to be said.
I'm glad I'm not like crazy there, Dylan.
Yeah.
That is what I saw. So 10:23 to go in the first half. So I think that's probably what Coach Namlick may be arguing for on the Shepherd side, but also it's the second personal on Aiden Hewley.
Yeah, that can be trouble. He's been a big part of this team down low. Really their main post scorer and defender.
So no free throws made there, and the old saying, ball don't lie, may have played a factor. 18-12, Jordan drives, kicks it out. Preston tries the three-pointer. It's no good. Marcel trying to chase it down. Great effort, but ball goes out of bounds, and it will go back to the bald Eagles.
I thought he was about to dive into the Lock Haven bench there.
Luckily he didn't. That probably wouldn't have ended too well. But Jay Davis checking in.
And here's the mop again. Now the refs getting involved. They're taking it out of the hands of the teams.
Like, everybody gets involved with the mop, man. It's like we should maybe get an assigned guy. A mop man. Just an idea.
Maybe. I mean, everyone's taking their turn.
That's something that you only get at Division I.
Yeah.
The mop guy. You ever see the videos of like the mop people trying to run off the floor, like as the other team comes screaming down the court?
That's always fun.
Robinson in transition for the Rams after a Lock Haven turnover. Poffenberger pulls up three on the way, in and out, no good. Shepherd's getting some decent looks, but they're just not falling in this first half. Preston, though, tracks down the rebound for the Rams.
He's been one of the leading rebounders on this team this year, despite being a guard.
So far, very quiet, though, offensively has John Preston been, as Jordan splits the defense and he gets fouled. He'll go to the line. And that's similar to the Slippery Rock game. Preston didn't have a whole lot of production until that second half.
You're right.
But Philip Jordan headed to the line, and he will shoot two. Shepherd still only trails by 6 at 18-12, a very low-scoring ball game so far.
We'll say I was qualifying it to make sure I wasn't going to speak out of turn by calling John the leading rebounder on the team, but checking my stats, he is the leading rebounder on the team at 8.6 a game.
Both free throws fall for Philip Jordan at 18-14. 9:14 to go in the first half. Freeze with it on the left wing. He'll hand it over to Davis. Lock Haven working the basketball against the Shepherd Rams. Driving in and a right-handed layup off the mark for Springer. Rams secure it with Marcel. Now over to Philip Jordan. John Preston down low to Hewley. Hewley attacks with the left hand and he gets fouled. He'll go to the line. So shots haven't been falling, or excuse me, Poffenberger going to the line. Shots haven't been falling for Shepherd from the floor, but able to get some things going and get to the line, which could play a big factor in this one.
Right, if you can't get easy shots and open shots, you can't get shots at all to fall, then you try your best to draw some fouls, get in the lane.
Poffenberger knocks down that free throw. And Shepherd on the year is a 75% free throw shooting team. They average about 12 makes per a contest. Second one good as well for Carson Poffenberger, and the Rams have brought it down to an 18-16 contest with 8:45 to go in the first half. Shots over to Freeze, top of the key, back to shots. Springer sets the screen. Swings it to Stort. Stort with the long three-pointer, and he buries it from the outside. 21-16 now the lead for Lock Haven. Jordan off the Poffenberger screen. Pick and pop. Poffenberger goes down low. Kicks it back out to PJ. Robinson now attacks. Back to Jordan. Three-pointer on the way to answer. It's an air ball. Rebounded by Adam Freeze. He found shots. Shot splits the entire defense. Goes hard to the floor and gets fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
Again, it's kind of been a story of who's making their contested shots so far in this game, and that's why Lock Haven's in the lead.
All right, we got the under 9 media timeout. The under 9 media timeout. 21-16 our score. This is Shepherd University men's basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. Of the second half are presented to you by Orsini's Home Store, not just an appliance store any longer. They're located at 360 Hack Wilson Way in Martinsburg. We're online at Orsinis.com. Along with the Skinner Law Firm, injury and consumer rights lawyers. Call 304-245-6613 or go to SkinnerFirm.com. Our score, Lock Haven 21, Shepherd 16 here in men's basketball action. Nick Verzolini alongside me, Dylan Bishop. Lock Haven headed back to the line out of this timeout. They will be shots headed to the line. On the year, he has shot 72% from the charity stripe. First one up and good. Makes it a 22-16 ball game.
Like I mentioned earlier, there's not as much of a home court advantage kind of feel to this game because school is not quite in session right now. There's still a couple weeks before they go back, and we'll see students flooding into these student sections and the wooden bleachers and elsewhere. So a little calmer feel to this game so far.
Poffenberger tried to hand it off to Jordan. Now back to Phillip. Over to Preston. Preston pump fakes. Finds Jordan. 6 on the shot clock. Jordan with 4 on the shot clock. Somehow got into the lane. Kicks it out. Three-pointer on the way. Poffenberger just off the back of the rim. No good.
Great pass by PJ. Just couldn't quite hit it.
I don't know how he got to that even opportunity at all with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Stort grabbed the rebound for Lock Haven. Now back in the hands of Stort, and he'll turn it over, throw it into the Shepherd bench. Checking back in for Lock Haven is James Price, the big man. Springer checks out for the Bald Eagles. There's 7:13 to go in the first half, a 6-point game at 22-16. McLean Corley catches on the right wing. Poffenberger sets the hard screen. McLean Corley pulls up, too strong off the back of the rim. Tipped by Poffenberger into the hands of Stort. Here goes Davis the other way. His reverse layup, though, is no good. Rebounded by Marcel. McLean Corley quickly down the court. Good give and go between Jordan and McLean Corley, and he lays it up and in with the left hand.
There we go. I kind of would like to see more of that. They're pushing it in transition. There hasn't seen a whole lot of that from the Rams so far. If the easy baskets aren't falling, try to manufacture them by pushing the pace.
Shepherd trails by 4 at 22-18. 6.5 minutes to go. Davis' shot way off. Too strong off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Phillip Jordan. Jordan, a solid rebounder for his size, Dylan. Always seems like he finds a way to get around the basketball.
He's got good explosiveness to get up there. Despite his height, he can jump up high in the air.
Dive on the floor as several players giving it their all to try to get to that basketball.
They're early into this. early into this game, they've done a pretty good job of containing Jay Davis. He's only 1 for 3 from the field. It's really been Stewart off the bench and Washington, the second leading scorer on this team. Isaiah Stewart and Eli Washington that have been doing the most damage with 6 points and 5 points. Jay Davis only with 2 to his name so far.
Stewart took a tough tumble there on the far side of the court and grabbing at his shoulder. Hopefully everything good there. Obviously going hard on the floor. Davis pulls up, and that one, again, Davis struggling to find his shot here in the Butcher Center. Clayton Corley.
Tried to get the switch there, didn't come.
Back to Phillip Jordan now with 15 on the shot clock, a 4-point deficit for Shepherd, and Jordan does a good job of drawing the foul. (22-18) our score, 5:38 to go in the first half. Lockhaven brings on some subs, going back to the starters on the floor for the Bald Eagles. Marcel, who's played a lot of minutes here tonight, with Hewley in foul trouble for Shepherd. Poffenberger catches over to Phillip Jordan. Poffenberger, good move to the basket with the left hand, and Carson Poffenberger lays it up and in. When you think of Poffenberger, especially last year, he was just a spot-up shooter, but they're showing him the ability in his game to get to the rack.
That's what you like to see. Add some things to your game slowly but surely. I think Coach Namalik, I've seen a lot of that from a lot of his players over the years.
There's a foul called against Lockhaven. So Shepherd trails by 2 at 22-20, and we'll go against Eli Washington with 5:12 to go in the first half. The Rams have a chance to either tie or take the lead after what's been a low-scoring, slow start to this ball game. Poffenberger sets a screen for McLean Corley, who draws the double. Preston in the corner. He'll pull up for 3, and Preston buries it. Nothing but net for John Preston, and that gives Shepherd the first lead of the game at 23-22.
I think that's going to be the X factor. Again, they haven't been hitting even their easy shots. If they can get some contested ones to even go in to go along with some open ones, this game can change on a dime.
Rams bring the double team. Washington pulls up for 3 from the corner, and he answers. Eli Washington makes it a 25-23 ball game at 4:22 to go in the first half. Jordan called for the travel.
Yep, good call. So Jordan just kind of lost Washington in the corner.
That really hurts when you get that first lead of the game, and then it's there for about, 20 seconds?
Yeah, one possession. You don't even get a possession on offense with the lead. But obviously you go back down here, score, and get it back to a tie or a 1-point lead again.
25-23, Lockhaven on top, 4:15 to go in the first half. Eli Washington dribbling and now hands it off to Davis, who's had a rough night. The leading scorer for the Bald Eagles. Davis comes off a screen. Here's a drive to the rim, dribble off the foot, back into the hands now of Gorham. Gorham pulls up from the extended elbow, no good. Great box out, though, by Carson Poffenberger. He finds Phillip Jordan. Jordan off a screen from Poffenberger. Marcel tries a wide-open triple from the top of the key, and it is way off. No good. Rebounded by the Bald Eagles. In transition goes Montague. He throws up an air ball on a layup. And the official was unaware of who it went off of, and it went off of Lockhaven. We got the under 4 media timeout. Our score, Lockhaven 25, Shepherd 23. We'll take a 30-second break. This is Shepherd University men's basketball on TV10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. Well, we welcome you back to the Butcher Center. Our score: Lock Haven 25, Shepherd 23. Nick Verzolini alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Back in the studio, Colin McLaughlin, Spencer Dupuis are on site. Our other cameraman along with John Alderton. Dylan, a competitive first half. It's been kind of a slow start. Things have started to pick up, though, in the last few minutes. It looks like Shepherd has started to find a little bit of offense, a little bit of a spark. Lock Haven's gone a little bit cold.
Yeah, they've had some trouble. Like we said, a lot of this game, it was early on Lock Haven making some tough shots, and those tough shots aren't quite falling at the same rate as it was now. Now Shepherd's starting to be able to get some of their own to fall, some contested ones, starting to get some easy ones here and there as well. So it's made for a good game so far.
Philip Jordan brings it across half court. Poffenberger sets the screen. Back to Carson now, and McLean Corley drawing double teams quite a bit. Swing it over Preston. Head fake. Over to McLean Corley, who tries a contested three, and he gets fouled by Montego, and he'll go to the line to shoot 3 of them.
It's the deadly sin of being a defender out on the perimeter is fouling a three-point shooter. At least it didn't come at a super crucial time in the game, like at the end of the second half. But there's an opportunity for DC to get 3 easy points up on the board.
What's been interesting is, as McLean Corley's first one's up and good, we've seen a lot of double teams as of late off of the screens from McLean Corley. So, Poffenberger's a good shooter. If when Hewley gets back in, he's a solid shooter as well. You can find those open spots in the defense. McLean Corley ties the game at 25, especially with those big guys that can shoot. It could provide some good offense for Shepherd.
Yeah, I think it's kind of can be a test of a good score. What happens when you get double teamed and you can't get those easy shots off? Are you able to make good passes to your open teammates?
And also the rotation, I think, has a backdoor cut and a turnover for Lock Haven. So Shepherd has the lead back at 26-25 with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Lock Haven, though, has done a good job of, after going to the double team, rotating and not allowing a whole lot of open looks, even with the quick passes from McLean Corley.
Just speaks to their athleticism.
Preston with the basketball. He goes the opposite way of the screen. Now Poffenberger pulls up a corner 3, and it's an air ball.
Yeah, he kind of rushed that shot.
It wasn't a great look necessarily. Davis back the other way. He lost it off his foot and out of bounds. Jay Davis just hasn't had it here tonight.
He's not. 2 points. He's averaging about 16 on the season. One of the better scorers in the PSAC.
26-25. Shepherd leading Lock Haven. 2.5 minutes to play in the first half. McLean Corley on the right wing. Off the screen from Poffenberger. And he tries to force it down low to to Poffenberger, and it heads out of bounds.
They were just coming with a straight-up double team there after that screen. Not off of the screen, but after the screen was done, and he was back up top.
26-25. Shepherd leads Lock Haven, who now has Washington with the dribble handoff of Montague. Over to Washington. Washington off the screen. Swings it. Thought about the 3, then got into the lane. Did Gorham, and Gorham lays it up and in to give the lead back to the Bald Eagles at 27-26. A minute 52 to play in this first half. Wide open triple from McLean Corley, and it's just off the back of the rim and no good. Robinson will check back in at 27-26. Lock Haven on top of a minute 38 to play in the first half. And the Bald Eagles retake possession. Washington brings it up. Over to Montague. He'll pull up for 3. It's no good. Rebounded by Preston. McLean Corley with it. Shepherd can go quickly here and get another possession before halftime. Poffenberger back to McLean Corley. Good pass, extra pass. Preston wide open triple on the way. In and out, no good. But McLean Corley's there for the rebound. No foul called as McLean Corley lost the basketball. And it will go back to the Bald Eagles of a minute to play. So the Rams will get another opportunity unless they give up an offensive rebound with 30 on the shot clock and just now under a minute to go in the first half. With Lockhaven up by 1. But I was surprised, Dylan, no foul called on the McLean Corley play underneath.
Yeah, from our angle, it looked like it definitely could have been one, but perhaps that was just our angle.
Washington lost control of it. No foul called there. Jordan grabs it. Shepard in transition. Jordan back to McLean Corley. He splits the defense. Layup is no good, but Phillip Jordan is there for the follow. Give the Rams the lead back at 28-27. Under 30 seconds to go in the first half.
Great hustle and awareness there by PJ.
Timeout taken by Lockhaven with the score sitting at Shepard 28, Lockhaven 27. Let's keep it here at just 19 seconds to go before the start of the second half. Dylan and Shepard, despite getting down early, and it was 18-12 at one point, and they've worked their way back into it. Now have a 1-point lead. You'd love to lead this 8-2 team by 1 at the half.
Right. Looking at their live stats here, I'm surprised to find that it looks like Lockhaven is shooting 50% from the field, and 5 of 8 from the free throw line. It's just been a good bit of offensive rebounds from Shepard that has kind of tightened this game up, allowed them to get back in this.
It certainly doesn't seem like Lockhaven is shooting 50%, but I suppose they do have a lot of turnovers at times, it seems like. And
yeah, that was surprised to find that.
You wouldn't think with shooting 50% in a half, you'd only have 27 points, but that is where we are at. With 15 seconds to go in the first half, Washington drives in, spin move in the lane. He gets fouled to go to the line.
Well, what helps things is that Shepard shooting 32% from the field.
Right, yeah.
3 for 15 from three-point range is Shepard. 2 of 5 from three-pointer is Lockhaven. So they're shooting a lot of shots in the paint, not getting quite as many, three-pointers out of their shots.
And
so it certainly helps contribute.
With 9.7 seconds and the player heading to the line here, obviously no guarantee that Shepard heads into the half at the lead, but whether you're down just a few points or in the lead, depending on what happens on these free throws and your next possession here, shooting 32% and being right in this game, especially with Lockhaven shooting 50%, does kind of show some of your good defense and just the fact that you're right in it despite not playing your best half of basketball.
All right, and Lockhaven has spent 84.8% of this game with the lead, according to our live stats on Sidearm Sports. Only 10% of this game has been spent, 10% of this half, I guess you could say either way, has been spent with Shepard in the lead. Only 2 total minutes compared to almost 17 minutes with Lockhaven in front.
Washington goes just 1 for 2 at the line, so we're tied at 28. 7 seconds to play before halftime. McLean Corley has it in his hands. He gives it up to Preston. Long triple at the buzzer, in and out, no good. And we head to halftime tied at 28 between Shepard and Lockhaven. Let's go ahead and take a 2-minute break. On the other side of that break, we'll have the Manchester halftime show. This is Shepard University men's basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. We're back in 2 minutes.
Hello, this is Mark Sutton of the Sutton & Janelle Law Firm. The right attorney can make all the difference in your case. That's why you should call Sutton & Janelle. We have been serving clients in West Virginia and Maryland since 1999 in the areas of family law, DUI, criminal defense, and personal injury. Sutton & Janelle works hard to obtain a favorable outcome for you at a reasonable rate with affordable payment options. Sutton & Janelle values your rights and is passionate about your success. Contact us today at suttonandjanelle.com.
Are you the kind of man who insists on seeing results? Well, I'm Lori from Bechtel Jewelers, and I have good news for you. When you surprise her with a Valentine's gift from Bechtel Jewelers, you're going to see the results you insist on. As soon as you hand her a little box from Bechtel Jewelers, you'll see her face soften. Her eyes will start to sparkle, her mouth opens just a little bit. You hear that sweet inhale that says how surprised she is, and that's before she opens it. And when she does, you're going to feel those results. Her arms wrapped around you and a warm kiss. And you'll hear those results as she says thank you. And I love you, honey. Yes, if you're one of those men who insist on seeing results, you'll see the results all right, and you'll feel them, and you'll hear them when your Valentine's Day gift is from Bechtel Jewelers, Route 11 South in Inwood. And by the way, our gifts start at just $25. Gift wrap just the way women love. Come see us for her Valentine's gift and you'll see those results.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
To the Butcher Center, Shepherd and Lockhaven tied at 28. Nick Verzolini alongside me, Dylan Bishop here at the half. John Arlington along with Spencer Dupuis on camera, and Colin McLaughlin back in the studio. Dylan, we are tied at 28. It's been a competitive first half of basketball. This is really what we expected as we welcome you into the Manchester Law Firm halftime show. Manchester Law Firm is located in Martinsburg, where it's about seeking justice for you. Go to wvjusticelawyers.com for more. And Dylan, good first half of basketball, and it's been a competitive game like we expected when we saw some of the numbers and just the fact that Shepherd plays close ball games this year.
Right, early on in the half, I think Shepherd was having trouble getting some easy shots to fall, and then they were kind of having trouble getting many of those shots in general. It was a lot of contested shots. And on the other side, Lockhaven was making a lot of tough ones, especially Eli Washington, who comes in 4 of 5 at the half, leading the team in scoring. And I think Shepherd has done a pretty good job of adjusting to that as the half went on. Got themselves a lead for a little bit, and they go in tied at the half. I think there's things you can improve on from both teams. So, I'd like to say Shepherd should feel good about themselves only being tied, being tied at halftime when they have improvements they can make. But Lockhaven also only got 2 points from their leading scorer, which I think that's something Shepherd's done a good job of shutting down Jay Davis. But on the other side, they are doing what I said was the key to this game for Shepherd, was taking some of the load off of McLean Corley. They haven't really done that. McLean Corley's taken 12 shots. No one else has taken more than 5, and that's Philip Jordan with 5, and then no one else has more than that. But he does have himself 12 points. So I think they need to try to manufacture some shots for Preston and Jordan and Poffenberger and Hewley in the second half. But all in all, solid half. Just make your adjustments where you see fit, and try to make sure Lockhaven doesn't come up with some answer that you didn't expect.
We'll now get into some stats here at the half, and we mentioned Lockhaven shooting 50%, but that is on just 20 shots. Shepherd has taken 29 shots, and your first thought there is, well, maybe it's turnovers, and it could be to an extent if they're turnovers that happen in transition. That would allow Shepherd to get a few more possessions and potentially some more shots. But the turnover battle is only 11 Lockhaven to 10 Shepherd. So it's not necessarily that Shepherd's had just a ton more possessions. They're just getting a lot more shots there. 9 of 29, though, are the Rams compared to the 10 of 20 for Lockhaven. So more efficient offense from the Bald Eagles.
You can point to the fact that Shepherd has 6 offensive rebounds, and Lockhaven's only gotten 2 on the game as a whole. And Shepherd's gotten 18 total rebounds, winning the battle 18-15. So that's about where you can see the difference in shots and how Shepherd's taken 9 more of them, but it's still a tie game and a half.
Yeah, and the leading scorer, as we mentioned, Eli Washington for Lockhaven, Everybody else in single digits, with Montague with 4 from Gorham, 2 from Price, 2 from Jay Davis. He's just taken 4 shots in the first half, 1 for Schultz, 5 for Stort. And then on the Shepherd side, Philip Jordan with 4, John Preston with 3, 12 from Daniel McLean Corley, 3 from Hewley, who was in foul trouble in that first half, so we'll see more of him. Carson Poffenberger with 4 points and 2 from Jared Robinson. We will head back to the studio to Colin McLaughlin with about 8:50 to go before the start of the second half. This is Shepherd University men's basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. We're back in 2 minutes.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
The Honda HR-V, CR-V, Pilot, Passport, and Ridgeline. They all have one thing in common. They never back off from a challenge. Available with all-wheel drive, the Honda SUV lineup has the performance you can count on and the capability to amaze. It's no wonder Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com named Honda the 2022 Best Value Brand.
CMA's Honda of Winchester, 3985 Valley Pike. CMA, moving lives forward.
Based on 2022 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit kbb.com for more information.
WVU Heart and Vascular Institute offers world-class heart care close to home. Our board-certified physicians are performing groundbreaking procedures using cutting-edge techniques, and that's why we're expanding our services to every corner of our region, so you don't have to travel far to receive the great specialty care you deserve close to home. We're now accepting new patients at all 4 convenient locations in Martinsburg, Hagerstown, Shepherdstown, and Winchester. WVU Heart and Vascular Institute, world-class heart care close to home.
Welcome into the And One Halftime Scoreboard Show, brought to you by Mountaineer Pub, located at 214 Mid-Atlantic Parkway in Martinsburg. I'm Colin McLaughlin for TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. At the half between Lock Haven and Shepherd, we are knotted up at 28 apiece. Let's now get into some final scores from around the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, and then some halftime scores on the men's side. But again, starting off with final scores on the women's side. Earlier you watched Lock Haven defeat Shepherd 63-42. It was Gannon also pulling out a 75-59 win against Slippery Rock. Westchester got the 75-43 win against Mansfield. IUP beat Seton Hill 77-60. Millersville on the road beats Bloomsburg 60-59. California University of Pennsylvania beats Clarion 53-43. Pitt Johnstown beats Kutztown 70-56. Edinburgh beats Mercyhurst 60-49, and Shippensburg beats East Stroudsburg 71-44. Let's now get some scores in the men's side of things in the PSAC. 41-31, Westchester leads Mansfield. Also at the half, it is Slippery Rock beating Gannon 39-27. 1:17 to go until halftime. It's Indiana University of Pennsylvania on top of Seton Hill, 29-23. Started the second half underway now between California University of Pennsylvania and Clarion on the men's side of things. It's Cal U 40, Clarion 22. 53 seconds to go until halftime between Millersville and Bloomsburg. Millersville 27, Bloomsburg 17. At the half, it is Pitt Johnstown and Kutztown in a close one. 37-35 is your score. Pitt Johnstown in the lead by 2. Started the first half, 19-14, so a little late getting underway, it looks like, unless I just need to refresh this one just to double check. Nope, that is correct. It's Mercyhurst 11, Edinburgh 4. And last but not least, 9:15 to go in the first half. East Stroudsburg leads Shippensburg 25-12. Again, 28 all between Lock Haven and Shepherd is your score after half number 1. Let's take another 2-minute break. And on the other side of that break, send it back to the Butcher Athletic Center for half number 2 with Nick and Dylan on the call. You're tuned into TV10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
You've been in an accident. A distracted driver put texting over safety. Your injuries, loss of income, and medical bills can last a long time, even a lifetime. Our job is to try and secure justice that will protect you and your family for the rest of your life. Mansion Ferretti, when you need justice.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
Mountaineer Grill and Pub offers many daily specials, including Trivia Night Monday, Karaoke Tuesday, Steak Night Wednesday and Sunday, Thursday night Boneless Wing Night, and on Friday and Saturday nights, there'll be a DJ and or karaoke. And remember, Monday through Friday, happy hour, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., $2 domestic bottles and $2.50 domestic drafts.
Let's go! Drink some beers! Mountaineer Grill and Pub!
I pre-planned my funeral to make it easier on my family. They were relieved to know I'll get just what I want.
My family actually thanked me for taking matters into my own hands. Turns out having this awkward conversation wasn't awkward at all.
Pre-planning is my choice. There are certain things about me my family may not know. Now they won't need to guess.
The choices are yours. The peace of mind is theirs. Pre-plan your funeral with Brown Funeral Homes and everything will be taken care of. Find out more online at brownfuneralhomeswv.com. Brown Funeral Homes, here for you.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
We've seen competitive games for Shepherd in the majority of them, even in some losses here. So as we get ready for the second half, what are some things that kind of stood out to you about the first half? And obviously we talked about, I think we hit on what Shepherd needed to maybe do a little bit better, but just kind of some takeaways, I guess, for the first half for you, Dylan.
I think that the defense is playing fine. I think they're playing just fine on the defensive end of things. There's some tough shots being made by Lock Haven. Again, you're holding their leading scorer to 2 points at the half. I just think that the offense is going to need to take a little bit of a load off of DC in half number 2, get some more open shots for Preston and Jordan. I think overall, McLean Corley as well, there were some easy shots that just didn't fall for him early in this game. That's why he's only 4 for 12 with 12 points. He got himself EC3 after being fouled on a three-pointer as well. So there's definitely ways that they can keep doing what they're doing, but also improve in the second half. And I think this is going to be a tight one all the way down to the wire.
See John Preston running a sprint there. I wasn't sure if he just normally does that or wanted to loosen some things up here as we're into the second half now with the game tied at 28. Preston will inbound here from the sideline. Shepherd taking on Lock Haven in our second Shepherd Rams game of the year that we have broadcasted on TV 10. After the Shepherd women lost in the first game earlier today to Lock Haven. Tied at 28. Lock Haven in possession of the basketball. Montague up top. Swings it to Washington. He'll try a corner triple. It's too strong. Great rebound underneath by John Preston as he snatched that ball with one hand. Poffenberger over to Preston up top. Hewley back in the game after his 2 first-half fouls. And they'll go to him. Hewley draws a foul. He'll go line, shoot 2.
There we go. We didn't see a whole lot of Hewley in the first half due to foul trouble. We only ended up playing 8 minutes because he picked up those 2 fouls pretty early on. But if they can get him inside and work a little more in the paint, that is something that can take the load off of your guards.
Hewley's free throw up and straight through. So Shepherd takes the lead, I should say, early in the second half at 29-28. Hewley's next free throw is up and good as well. So 30-28, Rams on top. 19-20 to go in the second half of play. Washington sets up the offense, finds Davis. It's been an off night for him, just 1 for 4 shooting for the leading scorer for Lock Haven, and Preston face guarding Davis here. Montague kicks it out. Thought about the 3. Now a dump down back to Montague. He'll try a 3, and it's good. Just straight through. Nobody really got out on him, and that gives Lock Haven the lead back at 31-30. Poffenberger off the bounce to the rack. Poffenberger goes up strong, can't finish, grabs his own rebound, and a foul called against Lock Haven. Head coach Mike Nestor not happy with the call.
Yeah, I think he's saying that Poffenberger traveled before he put that shot up.
McLean Corley will inbound from the baseline. Hewley off the inbound, back to McLean Corley. Swings it to a wide open John Preston for 3, and that shot somehow rolls in. It looked like it was going to roll off the other way, but took the hometown bounce and fell in for the senior John Preston, giving the Rams back the lead at 33-31 with 18:20 to go.
As I mentioned it in the women's game, those soft rims here at the Butcher Center.
3-pointer off the mark and no good for Gorham. Tracked down on the rebound for P.J. Jordan. Philip Jordan off the Hewley screen. Jordan attacks the basket. Layup is up and good, but an offensive foul going against Philip Jordan results in a no basket and a turnover for the Rams. Jordan forced to check out. Robinson checks in for Shepherd, who has a 2-point lead. That is the 3rd personal on Philip Jordan.
Early in the second half with that, too. It wasn't a bad call either. He did extend that arm out as he tried to get in to the lane.
Adam Freeze will check back in for Lock Haven. Freeze inbounds to Eli Washington, who will bring it back across midcourt. Washington in and out dribble. Pulls up on the block jumper, and it's up and good. Tied ball game at 33.
He's just been really crafty all game long to be able to find his spots to get open looks.
Hewley head fakes, drives in, and a travel called against Aiden Hewley, and unfortunately 2 for Shepherd. If he could have got it to Robinson quicker, it would have been a potential 3 there, but instead a turnover for the Rams, and the ball goes back to Lock Haven.
Some sloppiness on offense early on.
And now an offensive foul going against Lock Haven.
We can extend that to both teams now.
Freeze called for the foul there. Tie game at 33. 17:20 to go in the ball game. Robinson brings it up the court. Over into the corner for John Preston. Now Poffenberger top of the key. Robinson on the left wing. Off the Poffenberger screen. Robinson pulls up, jumper on the way. Good. Robinson knocks down the J, 35-33. Shepherd leading. Washington.
Like to see that from Robinson, getting stuff off the dribble, turn him into more than just a role player who takes his open shots when he's got the ball to him.
Poffenberger gets the steal, lost control of the ball as he tried to go up for the layup. It heads out of bounds off of Jay Davis. It will go back to the Rams.
Seems like a lucky break that he ended up getting that ball to stay with Shepherd. I think he just lost it on its own, but then ended up hitting Davis.
McLean Corley now to inbound for Shepherd. 35-33. Gets it into Hewley. Hewley drives baseline. And a foul called against Lockhaven. Going to go against Davis. This is first. 4 fouls, though, quickly in this second half going against Lockhaven. Shepherd leads by 2 at 35-33. Preston over to Hewley. Shepherd running the offense here. McLean Corley off the handoff from Poffenberger. Draws the double. McLean Corley goes baseline, kicks it out to Hewley for 3. No good. Preston, though, tips it to himself. Eventually gets the rebound, gets fouled, he'll go to the line.
Here we go. That's what you need from a guy like John Preston, one of those senior leaders on this team. If he's not able to get those easy shots, you hustle, get the rebounds, and put up some second chance points. Get yourself to the line.
35-33. Shepherd leading Lockhaven. Preston headed to the line with 16-11 to go in the contest. Preston knocks down the free throw. If Shepherd can build a little lead, because in the game it's never really been the Rams by 6, 7, 8. It's really just been by 3 and less. Preston puts them up 4 at 37-33.
Right. Lockhaven spent about 85% of that first half with the lead.
Freeze, swing over to Montague. Now to Davis. Washington on the right wing. Lockhaven moving the ball around the perimeter. Freeze attacks the basket, kicks it back out to Washington. He'll pull up elbow J on the way, and that's buckets. Straight through for Eli Washington. Cuts the lead back down to 2 at 37-35. Under 16 minutes to play in the contest. Robinson with the basketball, and that's going to go against him. Justin Namalik unhappy with that call.
That's a bit of an understatement, but
displeased.
Yeah.
Our score 37-35. Lockhaven on top. We got the under 16 media timeout. Let's take a 30-second break. This is Shepherd University men's basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
Located at 4529 Shepherdstown Road in Martinsburg, the Neon Moon Tavern has delicious food and cold beverages. Stop on in Mondays for some mayhem with us and Shepherd quarterback Tyson Bagent, or on Tuesday for some gourmet tacos. Wednesdays is whiskey and trivia night. Thursday is steak night. Fridays are dinner specials. Saturdays there's live music. And Sunday morning is brunch. We're open every day from 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. Call us at 304-260-4002 for takeout or stop on in to the Neon Moon Tavern.
Welcome you back to the Butcher Center on the campus of Shepherd University here in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. Our score, Shepherd 37, Lockhaven 35 here in men's basketball. Nick Verzolini alongside me is Dylan Bishop, John Allerton along with Spencer Dupuis on camera. Kyle McLaughlin back in the studio. Dylan, Shepherd hanging on to this 2-point lead. It's going to be Lockhaven possession out of the under 16 media timeout. Just kind of been a low-scoring, grinded-out game so far.
The grinded out was the exact phrase I was thinking in my head. I was about to say that. I think that's a good way to put it. It's just been, it's been like pulling teeth to get any points from either side, really.
Lock Haven with the possession here. Montague driving to the basket, draws a foul from Robinson. 3 fouls on Shepherd in this second half, 5 against the Bald Eagles of Lock Haven. So again, that could play a factor here down the stretch. Adam Freeze grabs it off the inbound, finds Price. Washington off the screen from Price, gets a wide open layup and lays it up and in to tie this one up at 37 once again. Robinson now clearing the timeline for Shepherd and resetting something here. Move the shot clock down to 26 seconds as it never started once Shepherd got possession. Good awareness by the official to call that out. McLean Corley with the basketball. Over to Robinson. Robinson attacks the basket, kicks it out. John Preston. Preston going hard to the rim. Fadeaway shot on the way. Good for John Preston, the senior. But tough fadeaway. Rams retake the lead at 39-37. And again, a stoppage from the officials.
And I think we're breaking the the towel this time, not the mop.
That's been the trend as of late, Dylan. We had the mop in the early part of the first half, but I think that
they've found the
towel
to be
could
more
be
effective.
a little bit more effective. Yeah.
Yeah.
Learning new
What
things.
do we have going on here? Is there just like a overly sweaty player on the court? Is that what's happening
Some
here?
precipitation, potentially.
Yeah, because it's not just coming from one spot. I don't think it's a leak from the ceiling.
Right, yeah. Who knows? Nobody fell that time. Usually you see that after a falling on the floor. It's just like, hey, this is kind of slick here for some reason. Frees the inbound, gets it into Washington. Washington kicks it over to an open Freeze. He'll try the long triple, and Freeze knocks it down. Adam Freeze with his first 3 points, and that gives Lock Haven the lead at 40-39.
The Stewarttown, Pennsylvania product, Adam Freeze.
Yeah.
From Kennardale High School.
That is very correct, Dylan. My former high school teammate there, knocking down the triple. John Preston the other way, trying to answer Freeze's 3. And Aiden Hooley and him would have had some big matchups in the YAIA Division II. York Suburban product. Good rivalry there. Layup on the other end, good for Lock Haven. Shepherd brings it down the court. Robinson fadeaway jumper on the way. Hewley grabs the rebound. His shot swatted away by Price. Hewley another rebound. And a foul called against Shepherd once again. And again, Coach Namalik not happy with the call. Thought that should have been a blocking foul instead of a charge that was called on Hewley.
Yeah, I don't like that call, to be honest. I really don't. I didn't think a Lock Haven guy was set there. I know that Aiden Hewley was a little out of control there, bringing his arms back around and twisting, but it's a basketball play. He's trying to turn around to the basket and make a post move so he can get a basket. Well, what can you do?
Third foul on Hewley, 42-39. And Dylan, to show your disagreement, you even stood up for that.
Yeah, it got my legs riled up enough to straighten out.
Freeze in the corner, down low. Passes over the head of Price, and Shepherd back with the basketball. Jordan ignores the screen, swings it to Marcel. Marcel attacks. Lost control of the basketball. Battle on the floor for it. Robinson comes away, and Freeze slow to get up. Took a shot to the head, it looked like, potentially, as both guys were going for it on the floor. I think he is all right, though, so that's a good sign. It's kind of a tough collision there when guys are going on the floor. We already saw Stort leave the game earlier on the collision down in front of the scores table. Freeze is going to stay in the game.
It might be a similar situation to when Aubrey Austin in the women's game got smacked in the face with a ball, and I think she was all right. It's just, like I said during that game, it just hurts, and it's going to hurt for a little bit. But he'll tough through it, I'm sure. He seems to be in a good laughing mood about it now, for the most part. Talking to Carson Poffenberger.
42-39, our score. Shepherd will get the possession. They will check Freeze out of the game, probably because, again, he hit on the floor, so probably have to check him out.
No, just do your due diligence. At least give him a break.
A long pause in the action.
Even if he's not seeing too many stars, try to get someone out there that isn't seeing any.
And it looks like Freeze is going to check back in.
Oh, see, there you go. He went to coach and said, I'm fine, I suppose.
Jordan off the Poffenberger screen. Jordan attacks, kicks it over. Preston open three on the way. Short, no good. Marcel grabs the rebound, though, for the Rams to keep the possession alive. Down by 3 is Shepherd with 12.5 minutes to go. Bounce pass underneath the Preston. Nice look for Poffenberger, but got tipped away. Freeze will check back in. He'll come in for Gorham. Gorham checks out. 42-39 our score. Preston checking out for Shepherd. Playing Corley on the court along with Robinson. Poffenberger gets it. Now back to Daniel McLean-Corley and the Rams. McLean-Corley pulls up with 2 on the shot clock, and he knocked it down. He didn't seem to be quite aware of it, but then he got into his movement and buried the triple to tie this game at 42 with 12:12 remaining. And we have a timeout. Let's go ahead and take a 30-second break. This is Shepherd University Men's Basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
We welcome you back to Shepherd. Tied game here at 42, despite the scoreboard reading 42-39. Now they get it up as our first 10 minutes of the second half are brought to you by Hagerstown Ford, revolutionizing the car buying experience. Go to HagerstownFord.com, along with Smallwood and Small Insurance in Martinsburg, your total insurance solution at 121 Administrative Drive. Call 304-263-3361. So 12 minutes, 12 seconds remain in this ball game, and a tie game at 42. McLean-Corley there with a difficult shot to tie it at 42 right before the timeout.
That was cold-blooded right there. Shot clock winding down, and a shot a few feet behind the 3-point line.
Over to Adam Freeze, down low to Price for Lockhaven in possession. Price goes up strong, and he lays it up and in. Good move for James Price, the 6'7", 230-pound senior. Jordan off the screen from Poffenberger. Poffenberger tried to hand it off to McLean-Corley. Good cut by McLean-Corley, but he threw it away to Poffenberger. Freeze takes it away for Lockhaven. Ahead to Montague. Down to the corner to Washington. Down low to Price. Price nearly walked, but no call. Wild shot anyway. Grabbing the rebound for Shepherd was Marcel. Down low to Poffenberger, and Poffenberger trying to get possession. Price slow to get up. Looks like Ronaldo on that one. I don't think that was that intense, Dylan, but I don't know. 44-42 our score. 11:15 to go. In the contest, we got the under 12 media timeout. Let's take a 30-second break. We welcome you back to Shepherd with our score sitting at 44-42. 11:15 to go in this contest, and Dylan got a game that's just been competitive throughout. And what's kind of stood out to you over these last few minutes?
It's really been more of the same from the first half, but I think both teams are really playing good defense, but some of the shots are just starting to fall from both sides. It's still Lockhaven has not really gotten Jay Davis going, their leading scorer. Only had 2 points in that first half, and he's been pretty much just as quiet in the second half so far.
44-42 our score, 11:15 to go. Yeah, Jay Davis going quiet has definitely been surprising.
He's yet to take a shot in this half.
Yeah, he was 1 for 4 at halftime. Hasn't shot since then, so that's just weird. Give credit to the Shepherd defense. A lot of face guarding and stuff like that as a foul underneath.
And that's the seventh foul on Lockhaven, so for the rest of the game, it'll be 1-1.
That's big. Yeah, we mentioned that earlier with about 4 or 5 fouls when Lockhaven got those very quickly, and to be at 1-1 with 11 minutes to go, especially when your opponent has only only fouled you 4 times. They still got a little bit to go, so
right,
that's
a few fouls to give for Shepherd. And they're shooting free throws the rest of the way.
But Philip Jordan did not convert on that 1-1, but a jump ball gives the possession back to the Rams. So Shepherd has had it for what feels like a really long time on this possession. Can they get something out of it? Into Hewley. Back up top, Robinson. Jordan off the Marcel screen. Back to Marcel, who bobbled the pass and couldn't do much with it. Robinson off a screen from Marcel into the corner. McLean Corley pulls up. His shot is no good. Freeze grabs the rebound. 10:45 to go. Washington with the basketball. Hands it off. Lockhaven moving it around the position. Perimeter, I should say. Down low here to Springer. Springer turns and faces. Hewley goes up strong. Shot is no good. Ball gets tipped out of bounds. No, Philip Jordan somehow kept it alive.
Heady play by Marcel will tip that straight up in the air, too. Good possession.
So Shepherd gets the possession back. Down by 2 at 44-42. Looking to tie. Hewley turns and faces. Goes in strong. Gets double teamed underneath. No shot.
He got fouled, though.
But he did get fouled. He will shoot 1-1. And we have been stuck on 44-42 for what seems like 2-3 minutes of game action.
Yeah, Hewley only shooting 52% from the free throw line so far this year.
Kind of surprising. Robinson checks out. Preston checks back in because he's got a good-looking shot, what we've seen from 3. But sometimes free throws can just be a little bit different. Shot is up and good, and you see the good rotation of the ball from Aiden Hewley as he knocks it down.
That's the big one. When you're in this 1-on-1 situation for these next couple fouls, or really it's only going to be the next foul after this that'll be the last 1-on-1, is at least make that first one. If you're only going to make one of them, You got to make that first because otherwise you don't get the chance at the
But
second.
Marcel tried to keep the possession alive on an offensive rebound. A jump ball is called. That goes back to Lockhaven with 10:01 to play in the contest, and Lockhaven leading Shepherd at 44-43 after the miss from Aiden Hewley. So the percentages showing the results there, 1 for 2 for a 52% shooter. Washington attacks the basket, goes up strong. Great defense by Shepherd to not foul. Philip Jordan, quick pass over to McLean Corley, but he traveled. And another turnover for Shepherd.
And that's a very common way of traveling there, just kind of getting ahead of yourself and trying to make that jab step and cross over.
Freeze another open three from the wing. That one's short. Jordan grabs the rebound. Hewley with a three-pointer short on that end. Freeze grabs it, but it's into the hands of Preston. And before that, a foul called against Shepherd. These 50-50 calls are not going in Shepherd's way, it seems like.
I'll be honest, I thought it was a foul.
Okay.
And then no whistle came. I was like, oh, I guess not. But then that whistle blew there at the end. I think that ref on the side that I don't think would normally make that call stepped in. From the same angle that I had.
Yeah.
Also think it was a foul, so.
Fair enough. From my angle, I wasn't really certain if there was much contact, but
it seemed like he kind of bumped in there and kind of to grab that loose ball.
I'll take your word for it. You're more of a kind of a court-side angle than I am right now, I guess, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, the lower level here with our production screen.
But Montague with the basketball for Lockhaven. 9 minutes to go in the contest. Down low to Springer. He faces up on Hewley. We are still sitting at 44-43. A pull-up jumper makes the game 46-43 as it's good. Good shot from Schultz. 8:45 to go in the contest. 3-point ball game. Jordan over to McLean Corley. Head fakes. Off the Marcel screen. Back to Marcel. He thought about it. Goes down low to Hewley, who will face up. Aiden Hewley trying to work against Springer in the lane. Goes up strong, and Aiden Hewley, despite some pretty solid defense from Lockhaven, just muscles his way up to make it a 1-point deficit again for Shepherd at 46-45, 8:15 to go.
That's one thing he can do, if nothing else, is muscle his way 2 points down in the low post.
Stotts drives in. Shot is no good from Schultz, and he, though, draws another foul against Shepherd. Schultz will head to the line. Shoot two. 46-45. Lockhaven leading Shepherd in a very competitive ball game. A Lockhaven team that enters at 8-2. Shepherd sitting at 6-5. But again, we mentioned in the pregame, most of the games this year have been close for the Rams. Besides its last game against Pitt Johnstown, they lost that wasn't close. Free throw up and good there for Schultz. Philip Jordan forced to check out, though. 4 personal fouls on him, and he just hasn't been able to get into a flow, it seems like, offensively.
That's a big one there with 8 minutes left. He's going to have to sit down for a solid 3 to 5 minutes before you risk coming back into the game with him at 4 fouls.
So right now on the court for Shepherd, it's McLean Corley. The second free throw is up and good. Marcel, Robinson, Preston, and Hewley. McLean Corley tries to hit Robinson in the corner. Ball goes out of bounds. Will remain with Shepherd as it was tipped. And we got the under 8 media timeout with our score. Lockhaven 48, Shepherd 45. We'll go ahead and take a 30-second break. This is Shepherd University men's basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
WVU Heart and Vascular Institute offers world-class heart care close to home. Our board-certified physicians are performing groundbreaking procedures using cutting-edge techniques, and that's why we're expanding our services to every corner of our region, so you don't have to travel far to receive the great specialty care you deserve close to home. We're now accepting new patients at all 4 convenient locations in Martinsburg, Hagerstown, Shepherdstown, and Winchester. WVU Heart and Vascular Institute, world-class heart care close to home.
To the Butcher Center. Nick Verzolini alongside me is Dylan Bishop. Our score, Lockhaven leading 48-45 over Shepherd here in men's basketball. Again, it continues to be kind of this grinded out, low-scoring affair between these two teams. And Dylan, we're at the under 8 portion of the ball game. It's really when things, I guess, start to matter a little bit more as we get into these final few minutes. You know, how are these coaches going to adjust down the stretch? How do they use their clock management? All that stuff in close games can be the difference maker.
Right, every possession matters. It's at this point in the game, and it's as close as it is.
Hewley trying to find McLean Corley, trying to find somebody now. Eventually does get it to Preston. Preston working on a pick and roll with Marcel. Preston drives and gets fouled. He'll go to the line, shoot 1-and-1.
That's the 9th foul of the half on Lockhaven. So now every foul going forward will be 2 shots for the Rams. And Shepherd's sitting at 6 fouls, so the next time they foul Lockhaven will be going to the 1-and-1. If it's on the floor, of course.
Obviously, you never want fouls, but sometimes it can be somewhat beneficial as Preston knocks down that free throw. And why I say that is because the game we had in high school the other night, I believe it was the Millbrook-Martinsburg game, Millbrook only had like 3 fouls, and they were in a close game down the stretch and weren't able to get to 1-and-1 very quickly against Martinsburg. Here, at least if you need to get into a 1-and-1 situation, you can do it for both teams. But for Lockhaven, it's more of an issue because it is double bonus at this point. You don't really want to be at that point here with 7.5 minutes. But free throws are up and good for Preston. 48-47 our score. Now Lockhaven turns it over.
Davis tried to throw the ball off of John Preston, but Preston had moved out of the way to where Davis just was sending that one into the bleachers.
The ball is just not going the way for Jay Davis in this game. He just can't find a shot.
No.
Can't seem to maintain it on offense. So just a tough night for that man who's been such a good player this year for Lockhaven. Preston drives in, throws a shot up. Marcel grabs the rebound. He'll go up strong, and Marcel gives the Rams the lead at 49-48 with under 7 minutes to play in the contest.
Huge second chance basket there.
Montague now driving in. Over to Davis. Can Davis find something in these final 6.5 minutes? The three-pointer from Davis is off the mark. No good. Rebounded by McLean Corley, who has it knocked away from behind by Montague. He'll be forced to go up into the stands. And unable to keep the possession alive. It will go to Shepherd. 6:28 remaining. Shepherd has a 1-point lead. Can the Rams close this thing out and come away with what would be a great momentum win at this point in the conference season for a team that's 3-2 in conference play? McLean Corley over to Hewley. Preston off the Hewley screen. Preston finds himself wide open in the lane. Shot no good, and that will be interference on Montague. As he touched the rim as the ball was hanging on the basket. So that gives the Rams a 51-48 lead.
It's a bit of a tough break there for Lockhaven and Montague, because obviously he didn't mean to do that.
Goaltending the call there. Shepherd crowd and the bench trying to get into it. The Rams leading by 3 at 51-48. 6:06 to go in the contest. Yeah, one more media timeout, the under 4 media timeout for both teams. As the bench gets the intensity up here, Coach Namlick out toward half court, getting into things for his team. Lock Haven with the possession. Schultz off of the screen from Price. Schultz attacks, pulls up. Mid-range jumper is no good. Rebounded by Jalen Gorham. Ahead to McLean Corley. Back to Marcel for 3 on the way in. Marcel knocks it down. The young man has played a huge role tonight. He came through with the layup to give Shepherd the lead, and now a 3 extends the lead for the Rams at 54-48. Under 6 minutes to play. A timeout taken by the Bald Eagles. We'll take one as well. 30-second break. 54-48, Shepherd on top. Stephon Marcel has made his presence felt, the freshman from Washington, D.C. With a three-pointer just a few moments ago and a 2 to give Shepherd the lead. The Rams holding on to a 54-48 lead here out of the Lock Haven timeout. 5.5 minutes to go in the contest. Washington down low. Davis tries to answer with a 3 of his own. It's no good. This has not had it tonight for Jay Davis, and that's been huge. And what could help Shepherd get the win? McLean Corley off the Hewley screen. He'll try a 3. McLean Corley buries it! Ice cold from DC. 57-48. Rams on top.
Making these tough baskets when it counts the most.
Washington back to Montague. Montague off the Price screen to answer with a triple of his own. Does not get the roll. But Davis skies in for the rebound. He'll try a 3, and Davis, Jay Davis with a tough one right in the face of Stephon Marcel. Makes it a 57-51 game with 4:40 to go.
His first basket of the second half, and that's when Lock Haven needed it more than ever.
Only a second make of the night as well. McLean Corley back the other way, guarded by Davis. He takes a screen from Marcel. McLean Corley's shot is no good. Rebounded by Washington. Outlook pass down the court. One of the weirdest looking dunks, but it did go.
Well, you see the entire women's team for Shepherd thought that was a travel down there.
I thought so too, yeah.
It seemed like 3 steps after he called it, but.
Robinson down low. Layup is up and good. 59-53. 4:02 to go in the contest, and another timeout taken. We'll go ahead and just keep it here. Sometimes though, Dylan, I mean, those long strides can look like a travel to the average human, but for somebody that's probably, 6'7"? For Gorham, 6'7", 185. May not be a travel, of course.
Right. Can just deceive the eyes sometimes. Yeah.
Of course, the Shepherd women's team is right there, so they have a pretty good angle.
That's
right?
true, they do. Yeah.
We do not have the best to see that specific play. We do have a good angle to see most things. 59-53 our score. The Shepherd women falling earlier tonight. Shepherd men trying to get the win over Lock Haven. And Dylan built themselves a nice 6-point lead here.
Right, it's been timely shot making. Stephon Marcel with 5 points in this game, but they've all been in this last part of the second half. And he's got himself 8 rebounds to go along with those points as well. He's been a really good contributor off the bench, which has been important for this team because they've only been running a 7-man rotation. You only get him and Gerard Robinson off the bench for this team. And when guys like Phillip Jordan get into foul trouble, you got to have someone like that step up.
59-53. 4:02 remaining in this ball game. Stephon Marcel, as you mentioned, he stepped up. But even when things get big, Daniel McLean Corley also hitting a big jumper as well for the Rams. A 4:02 to go. And Shepherd will bring Phillip Jordan back on. He has 4 fouls. So you've had some guys in foul trouble, like you mentioned, Dylan, and we're seeing good production from the Rams, even with those key players being on the bench. Shepherd leads by 6, under 4 minutes to go in the game. Montague nearly turns it over, gets it back though. Montague drives in, shot blocked by McLean Corley. Marcel cleared him out for the rebound. Shepherd has the fast break. And now didn't look good there as Gorham came up grabbing his side. Kind of took an awkward, shot there, and it looks like he's going to try to stay in with it, but...
You had Montague falling to the floor there. It was 5-on-4, and have to break out the towel. They're breaking out the towel and the mop this time, Nick.
That's a different combo. We have not seen the towel mop duo tonight, but it's dynamic.
I guess one isn't enough sometimes.
I mean, you got Batman and Robin, you got LeBron and D. Wade, and you got the towel and the mop.
Name a more iconic duo.
I can't think of one. Dylan Bishop, Nick Verzolini.
I think that's the only one that can match it.
3:47 to go in the ball game. Shepherd leads by 6. As we try to continue things, there might be another issue unrelated to the towel mop duo. Yeah, there's seems to be the official speaking with the.
Well, I suppose if it was a foul on Shepherd,
right?
That would have been their 7th.
So there was no foul called there. Washington over to Montague. Davis pulls up, 3-pointer on the way, contested by Preston. It's short off the front of the rim.
Just not his night.
Yeah, but shooters always do have to shoot, is what they say, but not necessarily the best look there from Davis. McLean Corley kicks it to the corner. Preston pulls up for a wide open 3, and John Preston knocks down the triple. Shepherd extends its lead out to 62-53.
Preston has been huge tonight. 17 points now.
And a great play by Phillip Jordan. He got a piece of the basketball that then hit off of Washington's leg and out of bounds. Shepherd gets the turnover and gets the ball back. Rams adjusting here on what they want to do. And Preston with the 17, it's kind of been a quiet 17 in a way, but he just kind of came through when you needed it to. The official.
Yep, only 10 shots on the night. He's 5 of 10 from the floor, 3 of 8 from 3. 4 of 4 from the free throw line.
I'm not certain what happened there.
I'm not either.
Wasn't a foul called.
And they're breaking the towel back out.
Slippery spot. This is kind of unusual. This didn't happen in the women's game.
No. I'm telling you, it's someone's really sweaty out there.
You think that's what I feel like it's every Shepherd men's game, but I don't know if it happened in the Slippery Rock game, but I feel like it happened a lot last year where we just had sequences.
Like, we're a little too far away. Our cameras don't have quite enough detail on them to, get you the
It really throws off any flow that this game has gotten into. It didn't get into a flow until, now. Preston with the basketball, and he goes hard to the basket, and he falls down on his side.
Yeah, that's going to sting a little bit.
Just a little.
But he's going to the line now, and now they're in the double bonus, so it's 2 shots. Potentially you can get this up to a double-digit lead, which seems like with how this game has gone this entire time, for either of these teams to be up double digits just feels absurd almost. Like how did you get there? It's just been timely shot making by Shepherd, and Lock Haven's gone pretty cold.
Shepherd's had great defense here tonight. Even in the first half, when Lock Haven was shooting 50%, you only allowed 10 field goals. Free throws up and good from Preston. Unfortunately, Shepherd didn't have a great first half shooting the basketball.
Nope.
But the second half has been much better, especially in the last 4 or 5 minutes. Next one up from Preston, good as well. Shepherd leads by 11 at 64-53, under 3 minutes to play in the contest. And the Rams have sat on those 6 fouls, too, which has been big. Not getting into the bonus, unlike Lock Haven, who's been in the bonus for a while. There's a big triple from Montague to keep this one interesting now. Three-pointer makes it a 64-56 game. Pass down the court to Hewley. Hewley head fakes, finds McLean Corley. McLean Corley dribbling right around the circle. He attacks the basket, finds Preston wide open, triple for Preston. It's short. It was a long three on the way. Great job by Washington to keep the possession alive. Washington with the pass into the corner and it heads out of bounds. It was off of a Ram. It will remain with Lock Haven.
And Preston came off of that screen, that dribble handoff, kind of wide, so he ended up a few feet behind the three-point line, which I think is what ended up throwing off that shot, making it come up short.
Washington with the basketball. Price sets a screen. Washington pulls up for three. Shot no good. Down low now. Price still grabbing the rebound, puts it back up and in. 64-58. 1:55 to go in the game.
Well, we mentioned that outside of Jay Davis, there hasn't been a lot of three-point shooters on this team. We saw Washington really miss that one.
Washington attacks over to Davis. Davis, they need him here. Davis attacks the basket. Shot no good. Rebounded by Stephon Marcel. Freshman keeps playing huge minutes for the Rams here tonight.
His 9th rebound, I believe. He has been huge on the boards.
Phillip Jordan. It's going to be one of those performances where the stats don't blow you away for Stephon Marcel, but just doing those little things have been huge in this one. Hewley tries a three. Hewley banks it in! And Shepherd back up by 9 at 67-58. 1:05 to go in the game.
It's 9:19 p.m. and apparently the bank is still open.
Yeah, well, it is in Shepherdstown. It never closes. Lock Haven gets the turnover. Montague tries a long three, and he knocks it down. It's not over yet, Dylan. 67-61, 50 seconds to go. We got a timeout. Let's take a 30-second break. This is Shepherd University men's basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. We welcome you back to the Butcher Center. Shepherd leading Lock Haven 67-61. Nick Verzolini alongside me, Dylan Bishop. It is the Rams' possession, Dylan, here with 50 seconds to go. Chance to close this one out, but you're going to have to make these free throws down the stretch if you're Shepherd.
It's going to be huge.
Not turn it over on these inbounds.
And luckily you're already in the double bonus.
Jordan catches. They are going to call that, I believe, a travel on Phillip Jordan. No, they're going to call it offensive foul. That's his fifth.
Yeah.
That's huge. Good defense. Good job defensively by Lock Haven. With the shot clock, obviously, too, you can occasionally still play defense and not have to foul. With 47 seconds down 6, you would still have to foul. Probably. But they let a little bit of time roll off, got their double team, and then Jordan couldn't escape and he had to rip through and was called for an offensive foul. So that's the fifth on Phillip Jordan. And Lock Haven now has a possession, can make it a one-possession game all of a sudden. Washington over to Durham for three. It's short. Ball gets knocked up into the air. Hewley lost control of it. Three-pointer on the way, and it's good. Great shot for Gorham. That makes it a three-point game.
That's only the second three-pointer that Gorham has made all season.
And it couldn't have come at a better time at this point in the season for Gorham to knock down his second. Foul there as Daniel McLean-Corley will go to the line to shoot two. I thought, as Montague a little bit slow to get up here, it looks like he might have hurt his foot, but he will be forced to check out, I believe, here. McLean-Corley headed to the line to shoot in the double bonus. I thought maybe when Gorham hesitated on whether he wanted to pass to Jay Davis or pull up, and then he took it a little bit delayed, I thought he was going to miss after that, but then he still knocked it down. So, I mean, really good concentration on that shot.
It was. That can throw guys off a lot of times.
McLean-Corley's free throws off the back of the rim, no good. Three-point game, 67-64. You need at least one here from Daniel McLean-Corley. Shepherd has played so well down the stretch, but does not want to obviously let this one slip away. The free throw's up and good. 4-point lead for the Rams. They'll pick up full court. Washington gets it into Davis. Marcel was pressuring.
It was a pretty rare miss from Dan there, 84% on the year.
Washington splits the defense, gets a layup to go. 2-point game at 68-66. Shot clock is off. They get into Robinson. They'll have to foul here eventually. Robinson, that's going to be a charge, yeah. Was out of control the whole way. Washington in perfect position to draw it. I've been impressed with Lock Haven not really panicking on the defensive end and fouling right away, but kind of letting things develop. And with this trap defense, they've really gotten kind of Shepherd out of its mojo offensively and forced them to have some key offensive fouls.
And you have to imagine the fifth foul to Phillip Jordan is why Robinson is in the game right now, and that was a big mistake by him, not keeping in control, realizing that eventually Lock Haven's going to have to foul on that possession. Stay in control, get it to your guys that are the best free throw shooters on your team, like a McLean-Corley.
So it's 17 seconds. Lock Haven has a possession. Freeze will check in for Price. 68-66 our score. Washington attacks the basket. A foul will be called on Daniel McLean-Corley. That is the team's 8th team foul. It is the first 1-and-1 shot because the previous one to get them to 7, or actually get them to 8, so that is actually the 9th foul. But we have a 1-on-1 opportunity. The last 2, though, have been charges, so this is the first time we've seen a 1-and-1 from Lock Haven.
And this is the huge one.
Washington's first is up, and it's good. 68-67. 12.5 seconds to go in the ball game. Shepherd holding on to a 1-point lead.
It feels miraculous considering with a minute 7 left in this game, Shepherd went up by 9 points.
Second one is good as well. That's why you always keep playing until the final buzzer. Lock Haven has tied it at 68. Washington is fired up. We got a timeout. Let's go ahead and take a 30. This is Shepherd University men's basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. To the Butcher Center on the campus of Shepherd University. Our game tied at 68 between Shepherd and Lock Haven. 12.5 seconds to go. It is 8-2 Lock Haven taking on 6-5 Shepherd. in a big PSAC matchup. And the Rams have the possession here. Dylan, 12.5 seconds. Again, you mentioned it before we went to break. I mean, Shepherd had a lead of 9 points with just over a minute to go, but Lock Haven has played really good defense, forced some turnovers, forced some charges, and have worked their way back into it.
They're going to have to go to length of the court here. If I'm drawing this play up, I'm trying to find a way to make sure this is in the hands of McLean Corley and make sure he can get a pick and that John Preston's nearby for a pass.
With Philip Jordan, Davis nearly stole it and won it for Lock Haven. But Philip Jordan on the bench, that's huge because of his speed.
Yes.
He's out of the game with the 5 fouls. If you have a guy like him that can quickly get to the rim, it can be really helpful. I mean, his size isn't necessarily there, but now you are relying on McLean Corley. You don't have really a second option in terms of a guy that can create his own shot and score at the basket.
They're doubling McLean Corley, which now means they're going to send him into inbound now instead.
Shepherd has some issues getting it in. Preston gets it back to McLean Corley. Final few seconds of the game. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. McLean Corley pulls up. It bounces on the rim. It's no good. 2 seconds. Lost second heave on the way. No good. And we are headed to overtime here at the Butcher Center. Tied at 68. We'll have the 5-minute overtime period after this 60-second break. This is Shepherd University men's basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
We're all familiar with the phrase, size matters, and sometimes it does. Sometimes you want a bigger home, a car, a bigger chainsaw or boat, and yes, a bigger diamond. And sometimes it's not about size, S-I-Z-E, at all. It's about size, S-I-G-H-S. Hi, I'm Lori from Bechtel Jewelers. Yes, those size matter. That's what your holiday gift is about. Not how big the box is or how big the gift is. Instead, do you hear those precious sighs when she opens it? That sweet sound? That says, I love it, or I can't believe you got this for me, or how did you know, or this is way too much. All of which means it's perfect. I'm Lori from Bechtel Jewelers, Route 11 South in Inwood. For that gift, come to Bechtel Jewelers. From diamonds to silver, rubies to emeralds, pendants to hoop earrings. Why a gift from our store? Really, it's simple, because does matter.
We welcome you back to the Butcher Center as we begin overtime. With our game tied at 68 between Shepherd and Lock Haven. The final 10 minutes of the second half are brought to you by Parsons Ford, 1400 Shepherdstown Road, and online at parsonsford.com. They became number one by making you number one first. Parsons, along with WVU Medicine, Berkeley, and Jefferson Medical Centers, leading healthcare here and everywhere. Shepherd wins the tip. No, it will go to Lock Haven. Hewley did win it, but then it was tipped again, and Lock Haven got it back. So the Lock Haven team going underneath and trying to get a shot down low, but it's good, or no good, I should say, by Price down low. Haven't seen him for a little bit. Robinson in control of it now. Over to Ploffenberger. He tries to dish it to Hewley, but it's taken away by Montague. Tied at 68, 4.5 minutes to go in overtime period number one. Here's Washington with a three. It's no good. Rebounded by Daniel McLean Corley. Dylan Shepherd held a 9-point lead with just over a minute to play. And just some poor execution down the stretch has allowed Lock Haven to tie this one at 68.
Yeah, making some mistakes, some fouls that just didn't need to be made. And they let Lock Haven get back in it.
We'll see how this thing, though, closes out. 4 minutes to play. Robinson tracking down the rebound. 12 on the shot clock for the Rams. Robinson off the Hewley screen. Looking to go to work. Robinson out to McLean Corley. His three-pointer is off the side of the backboard. No good. Nearly a travel there for Price, but I guess they're saying that he never had complete possession. No call from the officials. A wide open three on the way is good for Gorham. 71-68. Lock Haven takes the first lead of overtime.
And you got to spend this entire overtime period without Philip Jordan, your point guard.
Robinson now with the basketball. Down low to Hewley. Hewley faces up. He goes strong to the rim. Shot is short. No good. Montague grabs it for Lock Haven. Shepherd really hasn't gone too deep into the bench either, so, I mean, it seems like these 5 to 7 guys have been on the court throughout this full 40 minutes.
It's been a 7-man rotation, and now you've lost one of those 7, so you're really only swapping one guy off the bench.
Davis over to Montague. Montague off the screen from Price. Attacks the basket, goes up strong. No foul called on the Poffenberger.
I'm surprised by that.
Down to Daniel McLean. Corley, it's blocked, but it's a goaltend. Great effort by Gorham, but he'll be called for the goaltend. I don't know how there was no foul called there on the baseline, but
I don't know either.
We had a few of those tonight.
Yep.
That is for sure. It's been a physical game between Shepherd and Lock Haven. Lock Haven leading 71 to 70. You know what's crazy, Dylan? In regulation, the Shepherd football team scored more points against Lock Haven than Shepherd did. In basketball.
That's a really funny note there. Well, now the overtime is what's going to take for them to try to get more.
Yeah, I just kind of thought of it.
Yeah.
Shows the difference, though, in the programs. Lock Haven basketball, very solid.
Oh, yeah.
Davis. Step back 3. No, he didn't shoot it.
Great defense.
Montague. He'll try one from 3, and he knocks it down. It's a 4-point lead now for Lock Haven.
I mean, that is a huge basket. Go up by 2 possessions. With 2 minutes left.
Robinson.
You need to get this ball into the hands of McLean Corley or Preston here.
Robinson does find McLean Corley. He attacks the basket. Back out. Robinson, big shot on the way, and it's no good. Marcel tips it, but the rebound is secured by Lock Haven's Gorham. They'll find Eli Washington, who has been great here tonight for Lock Haven. Montague with the basketball, and a 4-point lead with 1:35 to go. I'm a little surprised, too, that maybe Shepherd didn't burn a timeout in overtime there. Montague to give him a bigger lead, no good. Preston grabs the rebound. Shepherd will play the transition. 3-on-3 fast break. Preston to the rim, and he'll get fouled, go to the line.
Good job there by Preston. Aggressive to the rim, making him have to stop him. And all they could do was foul.
74-70. That is the 3rd foul on Eli Washington here in overtime period number 1. 1:22 to go. John Preston to the charity stripe. The first one is up and good. And it's a 3-point game. Timeout taken by Lock Haven at 74-71 to try to ice them. 1:21 to go or 1:22 to go, I should say, in this contest. And Dylan, so Shepherd's down 3. They have a few possessions remaining based on shot clock. Obviously, you're going to need some stops, but again, we're going to see it probably come down to the final few seconds.
Yeah, you're just going to have to come up big on defense and then find a way to get some open shots on offense like you've been able to. It's not going to come easy.
Yeah, hasn't really been a ton of open shots for Shepherd here in overtime.
No, not at all. I mean, again, you're running a 6-man rotation now at this point with Philip Jordan out of the game. So these guys are getting tired out there. I mean, the Lock Haven bench has run 4 guys deep. They're running in a 9-man rotation. So the guys are a little more fresh at this point in the game.
And you're not going to see a new player probably check in at this point, because if you were to go in cold off the bench, unless you have to put them in, you're not going to see it, just because, I mean, it just wouldn't be good game management at all to put a guy in that situation.
You're right.
Preston to the line, 1:22 to go. This is the second of the 2 free throws for John Preston. Out of the timeout, and the attempt to ice him does not work. Preston knocks it down at 74-72. 1:20 to play and counting in overtime period number 1. Lock Haven holding on to the 2-point lead. Montague. Over to Washington. Now back to Gorham. Eli Washington dribbling the basketball. 8 on the shot clock. Washington finds a hole in the defense. Layup is no good. Davis came flying in. Tipped it. It's off of the Rams and will go back to Lockhaven. It's a great play by Jay Davis, laying his body on the line.
I'm surprised that there was no whistle either way off of that. That was, I mean, the way he came flying in, whether it would be, someone getting into him or him just being out of control, but let him play.
Great effort, though, too, by Davis to really just come out of nowhere. I didn't even see him in my line of sight. And then he tipped that ball and eventually got it off of a Shepherd player to get the ball back to Lockhaven at 74-72, 55 seconds. You need to stop if you're Shepherd. Montague. Now Davis has it in his hands. Back to Washington. He's been their go-to guy here tonight. And he gets fouled by Daniel McLean Corley.
Yeah, it was tough coming around that screen. Just didn't have enough room to maneuver.
Your team fouls carry over from regulation into overtime. So that is now the 10th foul on Shepherd. We're in the double bonus for both teams at 45 seconds to go in overtime number 1. Our score 74-72. Lockhaven leading Shepherd. The towel comes out again. Should have like soccer stoppage time for how many times we've had the towel come out. Just to know how long we've had the towel or the mop. It seems like it's been like 40 minutes.
It really has, yeah.
The free throw is up and good for Eli Washington. To build the lead out to 3. Second one, good as well.
He's been about a 79% free throw shooter on the year.
So that makes it a 4-point game. If you are Lockhaven, you cannot foul here. Up by 4. McLean Corley goes to the rim. They're going to call a charge on Daniel McLean Corley. And Justin Namalik is very frustrated with that call. They're going to discuss it. I'm not expecting a change here, but we shall see. They're now ruling it a foul on Lockhaven.
Oh, wow.
So they reversed it. The official from this side came over and it might have felt like he had a better look at the positioning of the player underneath.
Well, that can be the difference of the game right there. The game really could have been over if that was a charge.
Yeah, they're saying 2 shots, but it should be an and one then if it's a shooting foul. And now they're sending the teams to the bench.
Not sure what that's about.
If it's a shooting foul, it's an and one. So McLean Corley did make the shot. If it is on the floor foul, then we have a double bonus.
Well, they just
and they're saying 2 shots.
Rolled it 2 shots.
To me, it looked like the contact was simultaneous with the layup. From what I can remember.
What it seemed.
That's how it seemed to me as well. So,
looking back at the replay, Nick, ball didn't go in the basket.
I thought it did go in.
It was an almost immediate tip in by Marcel.
Ah. Well, then that explains it. John Preston and I both saw it go in, and we just thought it was an and one. So McLean Corley knocks it down.
At some point, you can't just go back and forth 2 and 2 on free throws here. You're going to need a 3-pointer, some missed free throws by Lockhaven.
76-74. If you're Shepherd, there's a 6-second difference, so Now going to try to foul a turnover from Washington. That will get the ball back to Shepherd with 33 seconds to play, down by 2. What are you drawing up here, Dylan?
Down by 2. There's only going to be a 3-second difference. Well, they got 20 on the shot clock.
Over to Marcel. Marcel to Robinson.
I'm not sure why there's only 20 on the shot clock when it was a turnover.
I'm not certain either on that one, but Robinson drives in with 10 on the shot clock and an offensive foul going against Robinson.
That's now the second time at the end of regulation and now towards the end of overtime. A big offensive foul called.
And that's his
on
fifth.
Robinson.
So he'll have to check out.
Yeah.
And their only option really would be, well, no, it won't be Poffenberger, so they will bring on here late, probably for guard play. They're going to go to Brendan Dolman. We saw, I think, a little bit in that Slippery Rock game.
We did, a little bit. From Musselman High School.
So they bring Dolman in with a 2-point game at 76-74, 21 seconds to go. They get it in. And pass ahead and a foul from Shepherd. Double bonus, down by 2 at 76-74.
Well, that is one of the guys on the floor, Gorman, that I think you would prefer to foul. He's shooting just 55% from the free throw line on the year.
So Gorham will go to the line to shoot a pair with his team up by 2. 17 seconds to go. Free throw, no good.
And there you go. So now it'll be a one-possession game. Now they're making another substitution.
Yeah, it's going to be another player that hasn't played.
Jordan Gibson.
Jordan Gibson. But he has played a role on this team in the past.
Now, last year, he played a good bit more than he does this year.
Second free throw is up and good, 77-74. So he's an experienced player. Just hasn't gotten a lot of time this year. McLean Corley brings it across the timeline for Shepherd. Just 10 seconds. Shepherd's got to go a little bit quicker here. McLean Corley into the corner. Hewley, three-pointer for the lead. No, or for the tie, I should say. Preston, his three for the tie. No, and Shepherd falls in overtime. 77-74 over Lock Haven in an excellent ball game. Unfortunately, though, for Shepherd, the Rams come up short after holding the lead and then kind of falling apart in that final minute of regulation. Dylan, we are good on our commercials, so let's just jump right into the Palace Lounge post-game show. Sound good to you?
That sounds good to me.
Palace Lounge is located on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg with a full lunch and dinner menu with daily specials and a clean cultural atmosphere. Check out the menu on the Palace Lounge Facebook page. And Dylan, just your thoughts on this one and how it falls. Obviously, Shepherd gets the loss, 77-74, but I mean a good ball game and a tough one.
Should have won this game. Minute 7 left in regulation, you went up by 9 points, and it was just some mistakes and some missed shots. Maybe one or two that could have been a better shot selection. And you just kind of let Lock Haven just move their way back into this. They got an offensive foul there when you were up by 2 with the shot clock turned off, just rushing. I mean, you played a really good game. This team could easily have a much better record than they have. It could be 11-2 at this point. This team could be, but it's been tough games like this. You just come down to the wire. Execution isn't quite there, and man, that's a tough one. It's a tough one,
and especially now that you're dropping PSAC games because not everybody gets into the PSAC tournament. So you got to find ways to get through the PSAC season. But let's go ahead and go into our game stats brought to you by Bechtel Jewelers. West Virginia's largest Pandora retailer on Route 11 South Inwood, taking care of you like nobody's business. We will start with the Shepherd Rams, who fell in this one. Shepherd saw good scoring from a few different players, not a big rotation tonight. Philip Jordan gets 4. Preston had 21, 23 from McLean Corley. Hewley with 11, 4 from Poffenberger, 5 from Marcel, and 6 from Robinson. On the Lock Haven side of things, Montague goes for 16, Washington 24. Big game for him. Gorham 13, Price 6, 5 from Davis, 5 from Schultz, 5 from Stort, 3 from Freeze. And those were your game stats. Dylan, let's go into our awards this evening. We'll start with the moment of the game, brought to you by Chris Ross and the Milestone Real Estate Group. Buying or selling a home, call 304-579-7349 or go to callchrisross.com. You got a specific moment that really stood out to you, Dylan?
I think towards the end of regulation there, the big-time three-pointer by Gorham.
Yeah.
That he's not a three-point shooter. It was only his second three-pointer made on the entire season that went and made this a three-point game at 67-64. And then you only get one of 2 free throws from Corley on the other end. Makes it a 2-point game. Then you get the offensive foul by Robinson, and then you go down the other side. Washington 2 more free throws, ties it up at 68, sends it to overtime. And so I think it all started moving the way of Lock Haven with that three-pointer from Gorham to make it a 3-point game.
And then what about your rejection of the game, brought to you by Cody's Auto Body at 851 Wilson Street in Martinsburg, family-owned, offering superior customer service and great prices for job done by experienced certified technicians. Call 304-901-4777 or visit their Facebook page. What would be your rejection of the game?
There's only a couple to choose from. Only 3 total blocks in this game from Shepherd, 1 from 3 different players. I'm going to go with Daniel McLean Corey's block that he had in the second half on Jay Davis that was able to keep things under wrap. It was mostly good defense played by Shepherd throughout this entire game, even when the slow stretches came on the offensive side.
And then finally, Dylan, your player of the game, brought to you by Kelly Allstate Insurance. For all of your insurance needs, call Gary Kelly at 304-263-4596 or stop by 724 Lakeview Drive in Martinsburg.
Well, Lock Haven got the win tonight, so their number 1 player for the night. It wasn't their usual top scorer, but it was Eli Washington, their number 2 scorer on the year. He averages 11.5 points a game on the season, but tonight he had 24 points on 9 of 15 shooting, added in 7 rebounds as well.
All right. So good choice for you there, Dylan. And then wrap things up here from the Butcher Center. The Rams fall in this one 77-74 in overtime. We will take a 2-minute break. On the other side of that break, Kyle McLaughlin is there with the scoreboard update. For John Allerton, Spencer Dupuis, Dylan Bishop, I'm Nick Verzolini saying so long and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Hi, I'm Annette McDonald, and I am the designer at Orsini's in Martinsburg, West Virginia. We welcome you into our store to show you a complete line of what we do here. We design your cabinetry, quartz countertops, granite countertops, hardware, anything for the full remodel of your kitchen and your home needs. We also do bathrooms, and we have flooring available too. We make sure that your project with Orsini's is the best in the market. Welcome to Orsini's.
Orsini's.com.
You've been in an accident. A distracted driver put texting over safety. Your injuries, loss of income, and medical bills can last a long time, even a lifetime. Our job is to try and secure justice that will protect you and your family for the rest of your life. Mansion Ferretti, when you need justice.
Hello, this is Mark Sutton of the Sutton & Janelle Law Firm. The right attorney can make all the difference in your case. That's why you should call Sutton & Janelle. We have been serving clients in West Virginia and Maryland since 1999 in the areas of family law, DUI, criminal defense, and personal injury. Sutton & Janelle works hard to obtain a favorable outcome for you at a reasonable rate with affordable payment options. Sutton & Janelle values your rights and is passionate about your success. Contact us today at suttonandjanelle.com.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Welcome into the And One post-game scoreboard show brought to you by the Farmers and Mechanics Insurance Company. When it comes to your home, auto, farm, or business, they're trusted, reliable, and experienced. Call them at 304-263-0809 or go to fmiwv.com. Unfortunately, the Shepherd men's team falls just short in overtime to Lock Haven, 77-74. After a game with 1:07 to go in the second half, it was Shepherd 67, Lock Haven 58. Lock Haven was able to storm back, tie things up, and force overtime, and also get the win. So Lock Haven improves now to 8-2 overall, 4-1 in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Shepherd 6-6, 3-3 in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference now. Let's get some final scores from women's basketball earlier today in the PSAC. It was Lock Haven getting a 63-42 win over Shepherd. Gannon got a 75-59 win against Slippery Rock. Westchester 75, Mansfield 43 was the final score as well in that game. IUP beat Seton Hill 77-60. Millersville beats Bloomsburg 60-59. California 53, Clarion 43, Pitt Johnstown 70, Kutztown 56, Edinburgh 60, Mercyhurst 49, Shippensburg 71, and East Stroudsburg 44. That's all the women's scores. Let's now get some men's scores. Only one game going on. Actually, just went final. And what a game that one was. East Stroudsburg gets a big win over Shippensburg. 30-point victory. 108-78 is the final score. East Stroudsburg hitting triple digits, which Shippensburg's website wasn't even ready for. You can't even see the full 8 because they've probably never seen triple digits before, but when you look it up, it's 108-78 final score in that one. Other final score, Slippery Rock 83, Gannon 69, Westchester 70, Mansfield 68, IUP 76, Seton Hill 55, California 86, Clarion 68, Millersville 70, Bloomsburg 60, Pitt Johnstown 88, Kutztown 77, Mercyhurst 81, Edinburgh 48. Those are your final scores from around the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Again, Lock Haven gets the 77-74 win in overtime against Shepherd as the Rams now fall to 6-6 overall and 3-3 in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. I'm Colin McLaughlin signing off for TV10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. Have a great rest of your evening, everybody. This concludes today's coverage of NCAA Division II basketball featuring the Shepherd University Rams in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Our coverage was brought to us thanks to Bechtel Jewelers, Brown's Funeral Home and Cremations, Robert Fields and Sons, Hagerstown Ford, the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm, the Mirius Group of Ameriprise Financial Advisors, CMA Honda of Winchester, the Mountaineer Pub, the Neon Moon Tavern, Orsini's Home Store, the Palace Lounge, Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, Smallwood and Small Insurance, the Sutton & Janelle Law Firm, and WVU Medicine Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Center. This has been a WRNR and TV10 broadcast. All rights reserved.